move yesterday in the 7th inning, bringing in the veteran Jesse Orozco. And as he said after the ball game, it was set up perfectly for Jesse. But Jesse said after the ball game that he just didn't have the feel for the ball. The ball just seemed to be slipping out of his hand, and he had no control over it, and in fact walked 3 in a row. 44,250 were here yesterday, and I imagine we've got somewhere in that vicinity again. It was the second largest paid attendance in the history of the ballpark here last night.
John, one of the things the Orioles are hoping for is a return to games 1 and 2 when the first 4 hitters in their lineup went 10 for 32. Yesterday, only 1 for 15. And so that put them behind the 8 ball. All their production yesterday came out of the bottom of their order.
Cleveland jumped out yesterday to an early lead, only to see the Orioles turn the ball game around on a B.J. Surhoff home run. So actually Cleveland ended up with a come from behind victory in that game yesterday. And although it ended up looking like a blowout, 9-4, Kirby 4-4 into the 7th inning, it was not quite there.
Well, it kind of looked like a boxing match yesterday. Neither team really wanted to put the other one away. And anytime you do that, I mean, it's rhyme for the pickings then. Any team can pretty much step up, and whichever team comes up big is usually the team that wins.
Kenny Lofton again setting the key. One of the noisiest 0 for 3s maybe in the history of baseball. He gets on base 4 times, 2 walks, fielder's choice, and an error. He stole 3, and he just triggered that Indians offense, which was relentless yesterday.
This place was hopping yesterday, and obviously they've come ready to roar in full throat today again. Last night, I mean, it was truly like New Year's Eve as they celebrated deep into the night here in Cleveland. People left this ballpark, and all around downtown you heard horns beeping, and people just did not want to leave the downtown area and leave the celebration, and that was just their first win of the postseason. Here's the FedEx starting lineup for the Orioles now. It will be Brady Anderson in center field, Todd Zeile at third base, Roberto Alomar at second base, Rafael Palmeiro hits cleanup at first base, Bobby Bonilla in right field, Cal Ripken, who's had a very fine series, at short, Eddie Murray, the DH, Pete Incaviglia in place of the injured B.J. Surhoff in left field, and Chris Hoyles is the Orioles catcher hitting ninth, and they were running at will against Hoyles here yesterday. And on the mound for Cleveland, right-hander Charles Nagy, the ace in the regular season, but he wasn't too sharp here in this series on Tuesday.
Well, Nagy's a guy who, during the course of the season, was the main man for the Indians from the standpoint. Oral Hershiser, first 6 weeks of the season, struggled. Then Jack McDowell and Dennis Martinez had injuries. He was the one constant all year for him. And Nagy, in his last 23 starts, went into the 7th inning 18 times. He was hugely disappointed with Game 1, but he'll have to see if he can get that breaking ball down in Game 2. A lot of pressure on Jeff Kent at third. Defense is not his strong suit. He's played both second base and third base. He's a good offensive player, and with a sinker baller out there, right-handers may be giving him some action today.
Jeff Kent over at third, and we're just about ready to begin play. Now, yesterday we played a 4 o'clock ball game here. That proved to be fateful for the Orioles because Bobby Bonilla dropped a fly ball hit by the first Cleveland hitter of the day. But today, Kirby, the situation a little bit more ideal for the outfielders than that late afternoon start. Brady Anderson, first ball swinging, 0-1.
Well, no doubt about that. Regardless, the sun's out today, and all outfielders are going to have a tough time, especially later on in the game. The right fielders are going to be the one with the sun in their eyes again today. So I look forward to we'll keep our eye on Bobby and see what happens over there. But the sun is tough here, just like it is in any other ballpark, and I look for the guys to pretty much try to make the plays as easy as possible.
Brady Anderson, who led off the game against Nagy last Tuesday with a home run in Baltimore, is 4 for 12 in the series with 2 home runs. Todd Zeile and Roberto Alomar will follow. That Slider misses. 2 balls and a strike. Nagy ended up being charged with 7 runs and 9 hits in only 5 1/3 innings Tuesday. And we'll keep a close eye on him today because this is the first time in his life that he has ever started with only 3 days rest. Close one there, and he did not get the call. 3-1.
John, every pitch so far from Charles has been down, and that's a big difference in game 1. He may have been too strong. He was very well rested. Could be for a sinker baller pitching short, could be a blessing.
And a walk. Well, he was down and down and down, and finally Brady Anderson gets down to first base.
He was down in the flats with that one, Kirby.
Well, I think he'd rather see it down than be up like it was in game 1. Charles Nagy is very competitive, and I think he wants to come out. He's pitching at home, and I think he's going to be he's real pumped up right now, and hopefully he can settle in and get that the sinker ball working, and hopefully Zorius can hit some balls and make some ground ball outs for him.
Todd Zeile, the hitter. 7th inning had a study in contrasts yesterday. Zeile came up in a bunting situation, could not get the bunt down, and hit a double play ball. Down the left field line, Omar Vizquel looking up into the sunshine, makes the catch.
Terrific play by Omar. He took that away from a fan. It was over the railing, so the fan has a right to the ball, but Omar just snatched it away. He can't see it. Omar calls it, and you see him. That fan had a right to the ball, but if you're a good Cleveland fan, you should be getting out of the way and give Vizquel a shot. But Omar went in and made the play.
1 down, Roberto Alomar now, and this was the case yesterday. Alomar being booed heavily as he comes to the plate. He takes a called strike. Alomar has not had a good series with the bat so far. Only 2 for 11. Check swing. And the appeal is denied by the third base umpire, Jim Evans. 1-1. Anderson at first. Anderson, the Orioles' leading base stealer during the season, with 21 steals, being held to the bag by Julio Franco. Rafael Palmeiro is on deck. Anderson gets back to the bag.
Brady at one time back last year had 36 consecutive steals over a couple of years, but John, I know you've told me he's got a huge lump on his thigh that's bothered him some this year.
And not the size of a golf ball. They told him early in the year he needed to take about 10 days off to let it fully heal and get over it. He took about 3 days off and said the heck with it. Of course, then later in the year he had appendicitis, and 3 different doctors told him he should have an appendectomy, the surgery. Brady said, well, I'm going to go for a 4th opinion. And finally somebody said, well, you might be able to get through without having the surgery. So Brady said, that's exactly what I thought. And of course, all of the symptoms of the appendicitis have since gone away. But Brady has had these various problems this year and still put together a dream season.
Dr. Brady. Sounds like a TV show.
One ball and 2 strikes to Alomar. And Nagy taking pains to keep Anderson close at first base. And he managed to foul that one off. The bat ends up over by Jeff Kent.
There's a ground bat to third, fielded by Kent.
Alomar did a great job right there just to put the bat on it. That was a tough pitch going away from him. He just tried to do anything he could just to throw the bat out there and get just to fight it off.
1-2. Anderson bluffed as though he were going to be running there. And Alomar came up ready to throw the ball as if Brady were running, but he was not. 2-2 the count.
Thought I saw in the game you and Joe did on Wednesday, Alomar take one peek back at his brother to see where he was set up. He was not looking that time.
And Brady dives back to the bag at first again. Alomar, unlike Jack McDowell, has never had particular success with Nagy. Now Anderson is running. And that one into left center field. Lofton makes the catch. And Anderson back to first ahead of the throw. And Lofton seemed to struggle on that catch.
Could have something to do with the sun, maybe. But that's why Kenny Lofton's one of the best right there. He didn't get the greatest jump in the world. It seemed like the ball just kept going on him. Kept going away from him, kept going. It seems like he's carrying a little bit today as compared to last night. And he just keeps going. Looks up there and finally gets a glove on it. The ball is carrying quite a bit.
You see that? I mean, he just barely did catch up to it. Yeah. Now Rafael Palmeiro. Anderson still at first, 2 down. There goes Anderson. Alomar's throw. Out! Kenny Lofton coming up for Cleveland. Game 4 of the American League Division Series, Baltimore and Cleveland. The Orioles lead 2-1, but they've been shut down in the first inning by Charles Nagy. Mike Hargrove, who managed a little bit out of character for him, although he felt justified in making the decisions he did, especially getting Jack McDowell out of there very early right after he had kind of locked in. But the stakes were rather high. Here's his batting order of the FedEx Indians lineup. Alomar hits 8th, and Jose Vizcaino hits 9th. On the mound for the Orioles, he was the Game 1 winner, the veteran big left-hander David Wells.
Wells was 2-0 with a 2.91 during the regular season against Cleveland and pitched very well in Game 1, threw about 90% fastballs. We'll have to see what kind of adjustment the hitters make, or if Wells, maybe with a little bit short in the rest department, goes a little more off speed today.
In the first 2 games, they were able to keep Lofton off the base paths in the early innings especially, but not yesterday. O'Neill dropped the fly ball in the first inning. Moments later, Lofton, who had gotten to second base, stole third, and that set the tone for the rest of the day. As Cleveland put just spectacular pressure on the Orioles all through the rest of the ball game.
Kenny scored 2 runs yesterday, and when he scored 2 or more during the regular season, the Indians were 28-6.
Come on, Kenny, babe.
And that's fouling out of play off the third base side. 1-1 to Kenny Lofton. Now Lofton, on a steal attempt late in the ball game, collided head first with Cal Ripken's left knee. And Kirby, how's Kenny? Has he got any stiffness? Is he all right today?
Well, I talked to him before the game, and he said he felt just fine. He said nothing hurt. He said, but it hurt when it happened a little bit yesterday. But at this point in the season, nothing hurts.
Nice pickup by David Wells, and he has kept Lofton off the base paths in the first inning today.
By itself, if you can field your position, Wells fell a little bit off to the side, but still recovered. As we look at that Oriole defense, which played flawlessly in games 1 and 2, but had some breakdowns yesterday. Pete Incavilla replaces B.J. Surhoff. Surhoff out with not only the knee problem, but he aggravated a hamstring in the other leg yesterday.
Pete Incavilla, acquired with Todd Zeile from Philadelphia in late August, with a grand slam for the Orioles in his first game with them to win a ball game. Here is Omar Vizquel up in the number 2 spot. Of course, as he takes a fastball for a strike, that's rather familiar to fans because last year for Cleveland, that's where he hit almost the whole season. Vizquel has had an excellent division series offensively. Zeile very shallow at third. It is 1-1 now. We've seen Wells again start out with a lot of fastballs here.
A lot of fastballs. I think he's going to try to pound Vizquel inside. I think he's going to go with the same strategy we went with Game 1 until he can show him different.
Curveball. Did he swing? No, says first base umpire Al Clark. And it is 2-1.
Omar always had the magical glove, and he's just made himself a better hitter. Sometimes those light-hitting switch hitters keep working at it. Ozzie Smith, when he first came to the big league, you could knock the bat out of his hands. He became a great hitter.
And 3-1. And here's what he did in game 1 in terms of the fastball frequency, and almost all fastballs in that game.
Must have felt he had a good one. What was going that day? Fastballs were working.
It's a walk.
Now, we mentioned the Indians were absolutely relentless on the base pass yesterday. The numbers sure favor Vizquel running in this situation. Runners successful 24 out of 30 times against David Wells. Royals again only threw out 17% during the season.
Kevin Seitzer, also one of yesterday's heroes for Cleveland. 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Hitting in the 3rd spot today against David Wells, with Jim told me on the bench. Vizquel was running yesterday. They all were yesterday, and they have been in this series, and they have been all year against the Orioles. In 15 games against Baltimore, Cleveland has stolen 31 bases and been thrown out twice attempting to steal. So it would only be surprising if they didn't steal a few. The Orioles have stolen 1 so far. And ball 1 to Seitzer.
The only man thrown out in this series was Hoyles getting Vizquel, but that's because Omar slid past the bag. He had the stolen base easily and slid right off the base.
Hoyles out to have a brief chat with David Wells.
Come on, Omar. Be patient. Be patient.
Kevin Seitzer with Vizquel at first. Seitzer is hitting .385 in this series. And back to the bag is Vizquel.
Omar certainly didn't look like he had any inclination to run right there. Perfect hit and run situation. Seitzer can really handle the bat, get some kind of movement in the infield, create an extra hole for him.
How about you, Kirby? You like that hit and run thought?
Well, Kevin can handle the bat really well, like Dave said. And I'm going on a limb and say he'll hit this ball to right field when he does hit it.
Hit the big hole on the right side.
It's not really big as it looks because you got a guy at second base that catches everything. So it's probably an illusion, but I'm going on a limb and say Kevin's definitely going to hit the ball to the right side.
Yeah. And Alomar seems to be especially good at going to his left into that hole.
I don't think he's good at going left or right.
1 ball and no strikes to Kevin Seitzer.
David Wells going to the slide step. That'll neutralize a lot of base running. I think maybe Vizquel could be on his own in this situation. He's just reading Wells. If David picks up the front foot and goes to the high leg kick, he may go. If it's a slide step, he won't go unless Hargrove has the hit and run on.
I thought Seitzer was trying to go to the right side there.
I guess I was right, huh?
Finally. It's about time. Slide step again, and again a foul off to the right. 1-2 the count. Look like that old right field swing again there, or what?
Yeah, Kevin can handle the bat, and he knows that, like I said, that's a big hole over there between first and second. He's going to try to get it over there and hopefully get Vizquel to third base.
Yeah, that's the whole key. When you go to the right side and Bonilla doesn't throw particularly well, you got a lot better chance of Vizquel going to third than if he gets a base hit to left field.
Got a real Milwaukee Brewer flavor to this series, or at least we have so far, with Seitzer doing well for Cleveland and B.J. Surhoff 3 home runs for Baltimore. Just that the Brewers themselves are not here. And the pitch up and in, and still hitting it off to the right side and foul.
Oriole franchise making their 8th visit to postseason in 43 years, and the 3 home runs by B.J. Surhoff, the most any Orioles ever hit in one series.
A.B. Johnson was with the Orioles a few times in postseason play as a player. 66, 69, 70, 71. Well, steps off the slab, looking Vizquel back. Ripken at short, Alomar at second. Pulled in a bit, double play depth. You see Palmeiro on the bag at first with Vizquel. No score in the game. Last of the first. 1 out. 2-2. A little erratic right now with that fastball.
Yeah, it seems to be in the first game he was throwing lots of strikes and getting ahead of guys and kind of putting them away. But this game he seems to be a little high, a little bit. But I think that he'll make the adjustment. He's been around a long time, and I'm going to limb right here and say that Vizquel's going right here.
There he goes. Down on strikes. Ripken. I mean, an accurate throw, but Hoyos with that arthritis. This looks like he's throwing a changeup down there. Albert Bell. Well, that was the height of drama last night. 4-4 tie, bases loaded. The powerful Benitez, and they built the drama just as you would in a novel. I mean, he threw a couple of those hard ones, and Bell could not catch up. And then finally he did.
Right now, Chris Hoyles keeps looking in the dugout to see if Davy Johnson might want to walk Albert, but Julio Franco, 322 average behind. And at least they'll start off pitching to Bell. Now, whether he's going to give in or not, I don't know.
Vizquel in second. Ball one.
I think this is definitely a big game for the Orioles today. I don't think they want to go to a game 5 with the Indians. It's kind of tough to win in this ballpark as it is. And as soon as they can get a lead, they should try to grab the lead, and hopefully Wells can hold them down.
Wells and Bell met many times. Bell went 0 for 3 against him on Tuesday in Baltimore. Strike at the outside. 1-1. Bell, in fact, did not get the ball out of the infield against Wells on Tuesday. A couple of ground balls to third and a foul out to third. No score. Last of the first. 2 down, Cleveland with a man at second base. And one of the great sluggers in the game today, Albert Bell at the plate.
Just a single, Albert. Come on.
2-1. Trying to stay at the knees of the outside.
Kirby, yesterday, Armando Benitez shook off breaking ball 2 or 3 times. Now, Wells is throwing 3 consecutive fastballs to Albert all the way. Albert, an awfully smart hitter. What do you think he's going to look for here?
Well, if he knows if Wells knows if he comes inside, he's going to come in really hard and hope that it's off the plate. If he comes in and misses, that could hurt him a little bit. So I think he's going to primarily just stay away from Albert, if I had to guess right here.
It is 3-1.
Well, he came in and it was off the plate, although Wells didn't think so. And again, Albert probably thinking along the same lines as you. I think he was looking away and maybe going to take a shot at that right field fence.
Well, now they're just going to go ahead and walk him. Now that it's gone to 3-1, they're not going to fool around with it any longer.
It's a smart move.
Julio Franco, obviously a great veteran hitter, but he is 1 for 11 in this series. So Davy Johnson just goes percentage-wise there.
Which he would have done last night if Casey Candel had gotten the bunt down instead of being walked by Jesse Orozco, which was an interesting play by Mike Hargrove in a tie ball game. He took out his left-handed slugger to put in the bunter, and had the bunter succeeded, he would have also lost his top slugger, Albert Bell, to the walk.
Well, after yesterday's game, everybody, boy, nice job, Mike, nice job. He made some decisions yesterday that could have backfired on him, but when you win, you're brilliant.
Everything, well, and that's the nature of the job, right?
That's right.
2 men on, 2 men out. And with Vizquel distracting him off second base, Wells steps off the slab.
There's only one perfect science in all of life in baseball, and that's called hindsight.
That's what I'm good at. 2 out, 2 on. Julio Franco. He has not hit in this series well so far. He takes ball 1. Franco with just 1 hit in 11 at-bats. In the regular season, he was at his very best in situations like this, getting that runner or runners home from second or third.
I think Julio Franco will make the adjustment. Good hitters usually make adjustments.
Good fastball on the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wells just ran back, just playing some good old hard fastball right here. Good old old-fashioned baseball right there. Threw it right by him.
And trying it again. This time Franco got a piece of it, fouling it off to the right, and Wells is into the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Kirby, let me ask you a question. As a hitter, Vizquel's doing a lot of dancing at second. I never liked a guy trying to steal third when I had 2 strikes on me because it just had a little bit of distraction. But it looks like Vizquel's trying to get a jump. How much does that bother you as a hitter?
Well, it doesn't bother me. I don't look at him anyway. I'm watching Wells all the way, and if the runner takes off, he takes off. And if it's a strike or if it's not a strike, usually I was going to be swinging anyway, so it didn't matter.
So that little deflection out of the corner of your eye doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me.
And again the fastball away, and again Franco hits it foul.
John, there it is. Now we know why I was a bad hitter. He was a good hitter. I was looking at the runner. He was looking at the pitcher.
No, but actually, Dave, it does bother a lot of hitters. I think Albert Bell, I was talking to him earlier today, and I think that bothers him when Kenny Lofton, whoever's on second, and jumps around. I mean, if you're going to go, I think you'd just rather have him just go, and that's it. I mean, jumping around, they don't go anywhere.
Well, Mike
kind of
Schmidt,
distracts him a little bit.
Mike Schmidt hated it. I mean,
I think it bothers a lot more hitters than it doesn't.
1 and 2 to Franco. Well, he keeps trying the same thing to the fastball to the outside. And Franco has not been able to catch up to it yet.
I think what David Wells is going to do here is try to go up on in the strike zone on Julio, and hopefully he swings at it. Against Messina yesterday, Julio was struggling, hasn't hit well against him, and he was just trying to swing at everything and just try to put it in play. Wells needs, this is a big out for Wells right here.
And he has labored here in the first inning. He's thrown 24 pitches already in this inning. No score. 2 out, 2 on. Curveball. He struck him out swinging. A ball in the dirt. Hoyles tags him out, and that's the end of the threat. Palmeiro, Bonilla, and Cal Ripken coming up. No score from the Jake. No score. We go to the second inning here. View from the blimp here in downtown Cleveland as Rafael Palmeiro gets ready to bat here for the Orioles. Ball 1 from Charles Nagy. David Wells on 3 days of rest. Labored here in the early going in his first inning. Nagy seemed to have a much easier time of it. Palmeiro lifts a high drive deep to right field. This one is way back there, and this one is gone. A home run for Palmeiro. Just a high soaring fly, and Kirby Puckett mentioned many times yesterday the ball seems to carry very well down each line here and into straightaway right field. It just looked like a high routine looking fly ball, but obviously he hit it pretty well.
Well, even though you see the flagpole not moving, the ball generally carries well here. From the 375 sign over to the right of the 375, the ball flies out of there no matter what. Yesterday was blowing across. You see Rafael Palmeiro is a good hitter, man. Goes down and gets that fastball from Nagy and just lifts it and just lofts it, like you said, and it goes out.
Now Bobby Bonilla, and he takes ball 1. Well, Palmeiro's bat has been kind of missing from this series. Set the Orioles all-time record for RBIs in the regular season, 142, and hit 39 home runs, and had only 1 RBI with no homers in the first 3 games of this series. Bonilla with a count now of 2 balls and no strikes. Now you see, last night the wind was blowing hard in from right field, and there's hardly any wind at least as evidenced by the big flag out there, at all in the ballpark today. 3-0 to Bobby Bonilla. And Nagy gives one up to Palmeiro. And now he's 3-0 with Bonilla. Bonilla socks one deep into right center field. This one is going. It is gone. Back-to-back home runs. Bonilla going deep on a 3-0 pitch.
Well, Bobby probably figured right there that'd probably be the only fastball that he gets, something good to hit. And it was fastball right down the middle, and he hit it good.
Well, it appeared Nagy got a little tentative after giving up the home run to Rafael Palmeiro, so he was nibbling, and then he probably figured Bonilla, still with nobody out, might be taking a pitch, grooved one, and Bobby crushed it.
Second home run of the series for Bonilla.
Oh, another low fastball. Bobby just went out and got that. Strong man, Bobby Bonilla. Nice, powerful swing. Stays back. Hit off the front foot hitter.
So Bobby Bo had 28 home runs in the regular year. He's got 2 here in the postseason.
8 homers for the Orioles in the series in 4 games. The most prolific home run hitting team ever, the 1996 Baltimore Orioles.
Now Ripken is 6 for 12 in this series. No homers. He had 26 home runs in the regular season. And he looked like he was aiming for Lake Erie on that one.
I think that's what you call cheat on the fastball right there. I think Rip was looking for a little something else, and Nagy took a little bit off the pitch. He's way out in front of him. There's Rip with his another new stance. Ball just sinks on him right there.
He may have another new stance by the time he comes up the next time in this game.
He may have it this pitch.
Crowding the plate, feet spread wide apart in a crouch. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Nagy is a guy you expect he's going to keep the ball in the ballpark. When he's right, sinker baller. And he did most of the year keep the ball in the park, but he's given up 4 home runs now in this series. Ripken is down on strikes. 1 away.
Good job by Sandy Alomar to go out and talk to Nagy after he gave up the back-to-back homers. And I think, sometimes even a veteran pitcher like Nagy can have their confidence shaken. And Sandy said, hey, your stuff's still good. You just got to locate better.
Well, the home runs that were hit, they were off good pitches. So I think sometimes you have to give hitters credit too. And they went down, Palmeiro golfed it, and Bobby went down and got that one, telling away from them. So they're good pitches. But these are good hitters in the major leagues also.
Here's Eddie Murray. Back to Cleveland with a hot bat, hitting .364 in this series, although actually he should be hitting better than that. The bad call by the umpire last night cost him a hit. Bobby Bonilla, his first RBI, his first home run since the grand slam in game 1 on Tuesday that opened that game, and Palmeiro with his first home run of the series.
That's what Baltimore needed today, to get off to a good start, and hopefully Wells can keep everything under control, and hopefully they can win. That's what they're hoping.
He swung at it. 0-2 to Murray.
Eddie a little out in front on that pitch. I think he looked for something else, and I think that was a fork ball. And with that big old bat Eddie uses, he couldn't stay back, keep his hands back.
Time he took it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Incaviglia is on deck.
Sometimes the hardest thing for a hitter to do is once you get out in front of a pitch, and once you try to stop your swing, a check swing, it's the hardest thing in the world to do.
And he struck him out.
Pretty important for Nagy to make a statement to his teammates. Hey, I gave up 2, but I'm not going to cave in. I'm going to come right back after him. He strikes out Ripken and Murray. Good looking pitch tailing away. Sinker ball. Or is that a fork ball going down and away from Eddie Murray?
Yeah, it was a fork ball. A good one too.
A nasty one. Breaking down and away. This should only be allowed to break one way at a time, I think. Here is Pete Incaviglia. A strikeout pick. Incaviglia was used mostly against left-handed pitching once he came to Baltimore. And, of course, even with Philadelphia, that's primarily the way they used him. He ended up with 18 home runs. He ended up being 2 home runs shy of being the 10th Oriole player to have had 20 home runs or more this year. I guess 9 is enough, though, probably.
Well, I talked to Inky earlier today and a little bit yesterday. And, you know, as you know, he's been well-traveled. And he said he had a good time in Japan, but he was just happy to be back over here. And especially happy to be in the playoffs with the Orioles.
And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Incaviglia was told by Jim Fregosi in late July, said, hey, we're going to go with the rookies now. We're going to try and trade you, but you won't be playing much. So Incaviglia went into his off-season weight training program. And by the time he was traded to the Orioles a month later, he was huge. 2-2. By the time he came to Baltimore, he was so big that everybody in the ball club would gather around his locker when he'd take his shirt off after a game.
A little clubhouse humor, huh? Not much of that goes on.
Ooh, up the middle. He almost hit that one off the ground, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, this series we've seen some hard hit balls up the middle. That ball that Albert Bell hit off Mussina, a curveball yesterday. I know Mussina probably didn't sleep well last night, but I tell you what, it scared me up here in the booth. He almost killed him. And ball by Incaviglia, hadn't played the whole time, right off the end of the bat, but he's so big and strong. I guess those muscles come into play at some point.
Look out, Charles.
Right at Charles.
Man.
Even though he's a good fielder, he couldn't get in position quick enough to knock that one down.
The ball by Albert and Mussina woke me up twice last night.
I saw Mussina in the dugout today. He still looked a little white. Yeah, he looked like he still had some nervous lips on that one.
Chris Hoyles, and it is 0-1. 2-0 Baltimore here. Cleveland had a threat in the first inning. 2 men on and 2 men out, but could not score. And right away here in the second, Palmeiro and Bonilla with back-to-back home runs against Nagy. It is 2-0 for the Orioles. Hoyles, the 9th place hitter, standing in. He is 1 for 4 in this series. 0-2.
Looks like Nagy has a good forkball today. He's throwing it a lot. He's got hitters way out in front of that pitch, it seems like.
We will watch right here, which is one of the great things, one of the best things about being able to broadcast is not having to try to hit that kind of pitch anymore.
Oh. You're so right, Dave. You're so right.
So the Nagy forkball working effectively, but the Orioles have gone ahead in this must-win game for Cleveland. Game 4, the American League Division Series, the Orioles and the Cleveland Indians. And that's the view of Jacobs Field, a beautiful new ballpark here in Cleveland. And that's from the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls today is Captain Jim Maloney from Vienna, Virginia. Today, college football on ABC Sports. Number 4, Penn State against 3rd-ranked Ohio State. College football, 3:30 Eastern, right here on ABC. And there's strike 1 to Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez, 2 home runs in this series already. Right center field. And Anderson looking at Bonilla, who had already slowed up to let Anderson get it. A mix-up in the outfield. 2 bases. And there we go again. The Orioles, whose defense was very shoddy last night.
Well, as an outfielder sometime, I think you kind of get, Bonilla's a big guy. I don't think Brady wants to run into him, but communication is very, very important in the outfield. There you go. Bobby looks at Brady, and Brady looks at Bobby, and Bobby does a good job right there to keep the ball in front of him. I think Brady thought that he could have caught it, maybe if he'd have dove, maybe, but at least he didn't get a trip out of it. Hopefully it doesn't hurt him.
And the problem for Brady was he decided to let Bonilla get it, and Bonilla had already slowed up thinking Brady was going to go get it.
The only thing as an outfielder, when you make up your mind to do something, you might as well just go ahead and do it. So when you take that second to guess, that's when you get messed up.
So a double for Ramirez, and here is Jeff Kent in there for Jim Thome today. 2-0 Baltimore ahead, last of the second.
Well, two things come into play here. We said the first 3 games of the series, the team that scored first has won, but also we said the team that's played best defensively has won. Orioles scored first, but they give the Indians an extra out and a man on second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the second.
David Wells. Sandy Alomar on deck. Fastball inside. 2-0 to Kent. Now remember, Wells threw 24 pitches in the first inning alone, so he's already labored in this ball game.
Talked to Pat Dotson, pitching coach of the Orioles, before the game, and I said, where does he generally hit the wall? And he said, with 3 days rest, we're going to look 90, 95, 100 pitches. That's probably going to be about it. So he's got to do a lot better efficiently on the mound.
Kent has faced Wells in the past. That's a called strike down around the knees. 2-1 the count. And Kent is 4 for 9 lifetime against David Wells. Because Wells last year went to the Cincinnati Reds and played for Davey Johnson there. After being traded by the Detroit Tigers. Helped the Reds down the stretch. Davey wanted him in Baltimore, and Pat Gillick, the new Orioles general manager, went out and got him. 2-1 the count to Jeff Kent. Strike 2 call to the inside.
Spotting that fastball pretty well. He made a quality pitch 2-0 away. Kent, like Albert Bell, after 3 pitches away, might have been looking away again, and boom, right back inside with a heater.
Well, he struck out Franco on a curveball to end the first inning, but still mostly fastballs.
Yeah, he threw a lot of high fastballs to Franco after Julio had 2 strikes. Franco kept fouling him off. I guess David felt he got his bat speeded up enough that he could drop the hook on him.
High in the air, right center. Now they're both calling for it, and Bonilla will take it. 1 out. Now here's an update on the other ball game going in Texas.
John in Arlington, Kenny Rogers facing his old team. Scoreless game. Dean Palmer had just worked a double off him. Now Mickey Tettleton hits a hard single to center that'll bring Palmer home, and Texas is not done. They've got 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the second and a 1-0 lead.
All right, Gary, that's Gary Miller with the update. We'll keep you up to date on the goings on of that ball game, which is being played simultaneous with the ball game here. Kenny Rogers for the Yankees, as Gary mentioned, and Bobby Witt is going for Texas. Of course, Rogers, the former Texas Ranger, who when he signed with the Yankees said that he wanted to go to a ball club that had a chance to get to the World Series. And of course, he's in a position to actually make the Yankees move up another step toward the series at the Rangers' expense. But a lot of his former Ranger teammates were not too pleased with that comment.
Yeah, that might have played well in Peoria, but it didn't play too well down in Arlington, Texas.
Rangers, for the first time, making the postseason in their history. This Rafael Palmeiro also used to be with the Rangers, and probably Kenny Rogers' closest friend in the world is Rafael Palmeiro, the former Rangers teammates. Strike the count to Sandy Alomar. 1 out. Ramirez at second. 2-0 Baltimore. A pop-up. Zeal and Ripken come in. Ripken. Oh, we got some more goings on in Texas. Gary?
John, as I told you, 2 on 2 out. Kenny Rogers still struggling, and Pudge Rodriguez' bat has come alive in this series. Goes down and golfs one off his shoe tops for a solid single. Texas has taken a 2-0 lead. Greer just flew out. The inning's over, but Texas on top. Back to you.
All right, Gary. And tell you what, Kirby, that didn't look like such a bad pitch there by Rogers.
No, it wasn't a bad pitch at all. But that little Rodriguez guy can hit a little bit.
Cleveland continues to struggle with men in scoring position. 0 for 3 today. 6 for 33 in the series.
And Jose Vizcaíno, yeah, even last night, I mean, it ends up being 9-4, but the reason that Albert Bell's home run was so big was because they let a lot of opportunities go by earlier in the game against Messina.
Remember now, Vizcaíno had a bad wrist. He didn't play game 1 against Wells because it affected his swing from the right side, but he is in there today.
He only had 1 or 2 at-bats as a right-handed hitter the last, well, nearly 3 weeks now. He has hit the ball real well, left-handed in this series. Runner at second, 2 down, 2-0, Baltimore ahead. Brady Anderson. Looks like an easy play, and that is the inning. A leadoff double, and Ramirez never got past second base. Top of the order coming, Anderson, then Zeal and Roberto. Division series between Baltimore and Cleveland, 2-0 Orioles as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. A lot of other ball games today at 4 o'clock. The Dodgers and Braves, game 3 in Atlanta. That'll be 4 o'clock on Fox. And then the Cardinals and Padres moving out to San Diego, game 3 there, 7:30 on NBC. The order coming up for the Orioles now. 3rd inning, 2-0 Baltimore. Nagy with the breaking ball down and into Brady Anderson. Brady walked his first time, but then was thrown out trying to steal to end the inning a little bit later in the first. Did not hit it well. That had that hollow ring to it, and there is 1 away. Now tomorrow, and all of this is conditional in terms of the games to be played. The Dodgers and Braves at 1 on ESPN if necessary. The Yankees and Rangers at 4 on ESPN if necessary. And the Orioles and Indians 7:30 on Fox if there's a game 5. And the Cardinals and Padres 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on ESPN if the Padres can win tonight. Nagy, the spike caught or what there, but stumbled off the pitching slab.
In the dugout, we usually call that a sniper. A sniper got Charles Nagy. We'll find him. I know he's in the stands somewhere. We'll get him.
John,
1 to 0.
Yeah, John, a lot of times a defense has to pick up a pitcher who's struggling. David Wells picked up his defense after the bad play in right field by Bonilla and Anderson not getting together. Wells got out of the inning.
And that's a good point to make because it's a team game. I mean, sometimes the defense not going to be there, and the pitcher needs to step forth, or vice versa. Sometimes the pitcher's struggling, the defense comes in and bails him out.
Well, as badly as the Orioles played defensively yesterday, still that tremendous play by Cal Ripken in the 3rd inning allowed Messina to stay in and right the ship, and he pitched very well from that point on.
He made that play, and then the Orioles the next inning went ahead on Surhoff's homer. That one is a liner into left field, a base hit. Again, Nagy keeping the ball down, but Zeal went down and golfed that one. Good play by Bell to hold him to a single.
Like you said, Zell went down and got that pitch. That's a good pitch again by Nagy. Pitch right there is going sinking, and Zeal just waited and went down and got it and hit a nice line drive to left field for a base hit.
1 out, 1 on, and here is Roberto Alomar. 2-0 for the Orioles. We're in the 3rd inning. Alomar flied out deep to left center. Lofton ended up making a nice catch on it. Almost caught by Vizquel. That will keep Zeal from going past second base. Man, Vizquel almost made one of the more spectacular plays you will ever see.
The play Ripken made yesterday, even though it was on 1 hop, was very similar. It's so close. It was right in the webbing of his glove and jumped out. Alomar again going the other way. Vizquel so close.
Vizquel and Alomar in the American League are 2 of the only guys who could make a play like that. I mean, that kind of acrobatic type play. Here is Palmeiro. But I mean, Cal Ripken has made some plays that kind of you say, man, is Cal young enough to make plays like that?
Well, Chuck Knobloch could have probably made it too for the Minnesota Twins. He's a pretty good player. A lot of players.
Yeah, talk about moving Cal to 3rd. He may make getting them to rethink that the way he's played shortstop in this series.
And that's exactly what kind of motivates Cal right now. And he said as much earlier when they talked about moving him to third. He said, hey, maybe I need to work harder. Maybe I've been taking it for granted. I obviously need to show these people I'm still the man to play shortstop for them. Rafael Palmeiro homered his first time. 2 men on, 1 man out. Nice pitch on the inside. Palmeiro didn't like the call much.
Nagy's got to get out of this inning to keep the crowd involved. If the Orioles put some crooked numbers on the board this inning, that's going to really silence this crowd.
And that Cleveland bullpen is busy just in case. Well, he struck out Eddie Murray in a pitch much like that back in the second inning. In the bullpen, right-hander Chad O.J., a member of the regular starting rotation. The second half of the season is warming up just in case. The Orioles already have a 2-run lead against Nagy. Zeal at second, Alomar at first, 1 out. Struck him out. That's a big one.
Another good fork ball from Nagy. He's got a good one today. Keeping the ball down, that's choking it off, and the fork ball just going straight down. Rafael Palmeiro out in front a little bit and can reach it.
Last 5 outs in the game for Nagy, 4 strikeouts and a looping drive to right by Brady Anderson. But in between, he's been in the middle of the plate, and the Orioles have hit him hard.
Here's Bobby Bonilla. He homered to right center his first time. That's a shot deep down the right field line. It is hooking foul. And he hit that one hard and just a little bit out in front of him, maybe 10 or 12 feet foul.
It seems like Bobby has one thing on his mind. He wants to pull a ball. I'm sure that pitch was probably going away from him, but he's stepping across the plate and getting it. I think Nagy probably won't think about coming inside on him right here.
You know, the grand slam he hit against Paul Shuey the other day looked to me like it was down and it was away. He just went out and raked it.
Zeal at second base. Alomar at first. Both ready to go anything with 2 down in the third. One and 1 to Bonilla. Bonilla has always done well against Nagy, it turns out. 6 for 11. We say always. I mean, Bonilla never came to the American League till the second half of last year. But Nagy, I'm sure, has already seen too much of him. That's a swing. Jim Evans on the appeal. Another great pitch by Nagy.
He's getting that downward tilt on his breaking ball. The Orioles have not been able to hit it today.
The crowd has risen to its feet now. 1 and 2 to Bonilla. That's a foul. Just barely got a piece of that one.
I think if Nagy even thinks about throwing a fastball here, he's going to try to get it up and get it above Bonilla's hands. Bobby likes, Davey Johnson wants him to check the ball because of that foul ball going into the dirt. You know, a new baseball is going to be thrown out.
Davey would like to see the Orioles open it up a little bit here early. So the Orioles with 2 men on and 1 man out, and Palmeiro and Bonilla coming up, and Nagy strikes them both out. The Indians are still breathing. Baltimore, we go to the last of the third. Kenny Lofton leads it off for Cleveland. Omar Vizquel and Kevin Seitzer to follow. Lofton hit one right back to Wells his first time. Zeal very shallow at third base. Here's the bunt. But Zeal was very close, and he got him. Well, Zeal was at least 45 feet down the line when the pitch was thrown. Now, Kirby Puckett up here in the booth, just before Lofton stepped in, signaled bunt to us. How'd you know, Kirby?
Well, I just had a feeling. I think Kenny knows that the team needs to get started. It was a good bunt, but Zeal was right in on him, like you said. Good hop came up to him, took his time set to a perfect throw to first base.
I mean, when the guy's that shallow,
Well,
why not maybe try a drag bunt if you want to bunt?
Well, I think he bunted it too hard. Kenny can pretty much bunt, put the ball where he wants. I think he wanted to deaden it a little bit more, and he hit it too hard.
Here's Omar Vizquel, 0-1 the count. He walked his first time. This had the makings of a chance for Cleveland to really turn this game around, getting out of a big jam with Baltimore threatening and the big hitters up in the third. And then the top of the Cleveland batting order. And then instead of a game going to 3 or 4-0, Cleveland had a shot to come back now and turn it back around. But Lofton kept off the base pass, and it always seems like a key to shutting down their offense.
Well, he's that catalyst, and if you don't keep him off base, he's going to get on base, and he's going to disrupt things and just run and run and run until you stop him. And the only way to stop him really is to keep him on the bench.
2 to Vizquel. Popped up. Foul. And this will come back out of play. Well, in Texas, they got the must-win for the Texas Rangers today. Juan Gonzalez, who's had such a great series, has done it again. Oh. Another big fly for Juan Gonzalez against Kenny Rogers today. And the Rangers lead that ball game 3-0 now in the third inning over the Yankees. Left field line, and that's foul and out of play. 0-2 the count to Vizquel. David Wells, we thought maybe he'd change his pattern a little bit, but he's going with the hard stuff, isn't he?
He likes his eater. Amazing.
The curveballs might be minimal, but one of them was a big strikeout pitch.
Here's one. 1-2.
Yeah, David heard us. He decided to change speeds.
It's a bright, brilliant, sunshiny day, but it's cool out of the field. Temperature's maybe supposed to get up to about 60 degrees at its warmest today. Another curve, and it misses. 2-2 to Vizquel.
It's a lot better than it was last night.
The wind has kicked up just a little bit here at the Jake, but it is blowing straight out toward right field. Last night it was right into the ballpark from right field. Down the right field line, and that is into the crowd. 2-2 to Vizquel. You see the wind starting to blow out of the ballpark now. Is this just a great hitter's ballpark if the wind's blowing out like that, Kirby? Does it blow out to all fields?
Well, the flag can be pretty deceiving. I mean, as you see that the big flag blowing is kind of blowing like to left field now, but then the flag on top of the stadium is blowing out. So I mean, it has like a swirling wind in here. I think it's a fielder.
2-2. Strike 3 call. Another fastball. Well, we got an update on that Rangers-Yankees game from Gary Miller.
John, they call him Igor and Egad. First pitch from Brian Boehringer. A meat fastball, and Juan Gonzalez is homered for the 5th time. That ties a playoff record in 4 consecutive games. That all-time record. Texas up 3-0.
Man. And Juan Gonzalez, I mean, it's astounding what he's done.
Well, a year ago, it was Ken Griffey Jr. hitting 5 home runs in the division series, and Juan Gonzalez has done it in 1 less game.
Incredible. Interesting to see Boehringer there already. Well, it said Rogers just assuming it was only the 3rd inning, but apparently Joe Torre didn't like what he'd seen from Rogers in the first 2, and he's gone already.
Kind of a rude awakening for Rogers going back home after saying all that stuff. It kind of comes back to haunt you sometimes.
Rogers, a rude awakening going to New York, too. I mean, he was the ace of that Rangers staff. He went to New York, and for a time he wasn't even in the rotation there. Seitzer the hitter. 2 down, nobody on. Albert Bell would be next.
It appears that both of those clubs have some pitching problems. Obviously, the Texas Rangers, that was the 9th time they had blown a game with a lead after 8 innings, more than any team in Major League Baseball. And for the Yankees, here's their starting staff. Could be a little bit thin right now.
Right center field. Bonilla on the run. Makes the catch. And Albert Bell will have to wait an inning. 3 up and 3 down. We're heading to the 4th inning. Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray. Coming up for Baltimore. The Orioles 2, the Indians nothing. In Cleveland. Charles Nagy on the mound. And he struck Cal out on a pitch much like that back in the 2nd inning. So it is 0-1 to Cal. Eddie Murray is on deck. Game 4 of the American League Division Series. The Orioles and the Indians. The Orioles lead 2-1. Now hits this one hard but right to Jeff Kent. 1 away. Another update from Texas. Here's Gary.
All right, John, trouble deepening for Brian Boehringer, who came on to start the 3rd, gave up the home run to Gonzalez, and then McLemore right up the box. It's now a 4-0 game with Texas on top, including an error by Derek Jeter. Back to you.
And, of course, the Yankees are in the same spot as are the Orioles today. They're on the road with a chance to win the series today. On the other hand, neither team, neither Joe Torre nor Davey Johnson, wants his team to have to play a 5th game in hostile territory. Eddie Murray, the hitter. And it's ball 1 outside.
One of the things to watch for is Sandy Alomar. Right at the last second, he'll set a target. And he told me with Nagy and Hershiser, he wants to set it way inside because their ball moves back so much.
Toward the middle. Vizcaíno can't get back to it. He was way over toward the first base line, playing Murray to pull.
Take a look back at a strikeout in the 3rd inning, Bobby Bonilla. Watch Alomar's glove. Right as Nagy's taking a look, he sets it inside. That's not to deceive the hitter. He's trying to give Nagy something inside so the ball will come back and away. Because he said he has to set it there, and you see him getting Bonilla on the strikeout. First pitch to Eddie Murray, he set up in the middle of the plate. Nagy was about 2 feet outside with the pitch.
Well, I guess if you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss.
Pete Incaviglia. He singled right past Nagy his first time into center field. Takes a strike, and it is 0-1. Incaviglia was in the postseason just 3 years ago with the Philadelphia Phillies, that ball club that defeated the Atlanta Braves in the League Championship Series and went to that wild World Series with the Toronto Blue Jays. Incaviglia takes the ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Incaviglia, a guy who never played a day in the minor leagues. He came right out of college and into the big leagues with the Texas Rangers and hit 30 home runs in his rookie year. And ironically, never really equaled that year again. And a foul off his foot. When the Orioles were getting ready to clinch the wild card berth, a lot of the veteran players were saying, man, should we have a big celebration for that? I mean, you know, it's kind of like we kind of snuck in through the back door. And then I asked Incaviglia what he thought. He says, I'm going to go out and tear the town apart. I'm telling you. We win his wild card. And I'll see you the next morning sometime.
Well, you have to enjoy stuff like this. A lot of players play their whole careers and don't get a chance to do this.
Eddie Murray back to the bag at first base. Murray with the Orioles in World Series 79 and again in 83. And with Cleveland last year in the World Series. Two and two.
Kind of interesting with Charles Nagy throwing over to first base. Obviously, Eddie at 40, not too much speed over there right now, but he does have 4 steals this year, and Nagy knows that if a pitcher just goes to sleep on him, Eddie Murray in a big game will steal it if you're not paying any attention to him.
Struck him out, and that is number 6 for Nagy. Providing today's shots from up above, just like that one, is the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. The Goodyear Blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. And there's the Goodyear Blimp, in effect, shooting its own shadow, being cast upon the right field grandstand. There it is. And we're always pleased to have them here with us.
That's right. The blimp came across the field yesterday and saw its own shadow and decided there was going to be baseball for at least one more day in Cleveland.
Chris Hoyle struck out his first time. Murray had to make a dive back to the bag. And he was in safely. It's ironic you mentioned the 40-year-old Murray. He has the Orioles' only steal in this series.
Standing up.
He's been their running game. I guess that means your running game's a little trouble if he's the running game. The infield, other than Franco, playing Hoyles to pull. And there's a ball.
I think the one thing about Nagy today, excuse me, John, is that he's got good arm motion with his forkball, and to a hitter it looks like a fastball coming to you, and then all of a sudden he's got this good arm motion, then it's a forkball, and the bottom just drops out. Tough pitch to pick up as a hitter.
2 down, Murray at first. We're in the 4th inning. 2-0 Baltimore. And that catches the outside. 1-1 to Hoyles. Were you able to pick it up? I mean, if a guy had a good forkball, could you pick up some kind of motion on the ball or something? It would tell you.
No, not always. As a hitter, it's the toughest thing, one of the toughest things you can do.
Hard sinker down and in. 2-1. Well, he really has kept the ball down today, hasn't he? I mean,
I think I was just going to bring that up. I mean, the mistakes he made. He got one ball up to Bonilla on a 3-0 pitch. He crushed, but for the most part, he's been down the entire day. Could be because he's just locating better, or a little bit tired has allowed him to stay down.
Two and two to Hoyles. He hasn't thrown to Hoyles a straight one all day, has he?
Well, Charles Nagy knows that location is important. And what do they say? Like pitching's like real estate. The 3 most important things are location, location, and location. And it doesn't hurt to change speeds as well.
And what's the 4th most important thing?
Location.
All right. Murray back to the bag at first. I think he seems real concerned with Eddie running over there. For some reason.
I think he just wants to make sure that Eddie doesn't take off on him.
Brady Anderson on deck. 2 down, 4th inning. And the forkball. 7 strikeouts for Nagy. Albert Bell coming up for Cleveland. 2-0 the Orioles in Game 4. Cleveland Indians must win today or their season is over. Albert Bell, the man who helped make today possible with his grand slam yesterday, leads it off. And of course David Wells would much rather face Bell leading off here than in any other situation. Bell came up with a man aboard in the 1st inning, but Wells, kind of pitching around him, finally after going to 3-1, walked him intentionally. Julio Franco and Manny Ramirez will follow. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 1 hit for Cleveland. Wells has issued 2 walks. One, the intentional walk to Bell, and given up just the 1 hit. And that was a ball probably that should have been caught in the outfield. Bonilla, you saw out there with the glasses down in right field. Brady Anderson in center field. Right to him. Man, does that say, man, this maybe is David Wells' day when on just 1 pitch he retires Albert Bell?
Well, he hit a rocket, but those atom balls help you out a lot.
It looked like a pretty fat pitch there, Kirby.
Yeah, he hit it good. He did everything he's supposed to do. Just happens to be it's been a guy out there for over 100 years now, I think.
Wells had 25 pitches in the 1st inning. He had 45 coming into this one. He could use a low pitch inning.
Ball 1 to Julio Franco, who struck out in the 1st. Franco with just the 1 hit in the series up till now. And he's an important man. I mean, he hits right behind Albert Bell. He's the man to keep them from pitching around Albert. Fastball, and again, every time he swung at a fastball today, he's been behind it.
Well, for whatever reason, the Cleveland Indians last year had a sub-500 record against left-handed pitchers. This year they were +6, but they dominate right-handed pitching a lot more than they do the lefties.
Until they made the trade for Kevin Seitzer, they were actually at 500, or a little bit below 500 for the year again. This year against the lefties. 1-1 the count. Right field. That's going to be in there. Base hit. second hit of the series for Julio Franco. The first base runner for Cleveland since Ramirez led off the second with a double.
First time up, he started Franco off with a fastball away and came in, did the same thing again, and Franco inside out a dead ball.
Davey Johnson got his Mets in 1986 into the World Series, and then, of course, they made one of the great comebacks in Game 6 of that series, and eventually won in Game 7. 1988, the Mets again into the postseason, but they were upset by the Los Angeles Dodgers in a great championship series. Oral Hershiser, a key to that turnaround for LA, and of course, he would go here tomorrow if there is a Game 5. Against Davey Johnson again. And there's ball 1 to Ramirez.
Oral in '88 was on some kind of a mission. He had the 59 consecutive scoreless innings, was the MVP of the NLCS and the World Series. He was about as close to a one-man show as you ever want to see in postseason.
He even got a save in one of those postseason games with the Mets in '88. Here's the Bulldog. He would go here tomorrow night. Franco will be held at third. It's a double for Ramirez, his second in a row.
Manny Ramirez really swinging good. Everything he's hit, it's been hit hard. The fastball inside. Manny stayed inside the ball well and just dropped the head on it. Threw it out there. Threw the bat head out. Fair ball.
Now Manny Ramirez with this double, his second double of the game. He also has 2 home runs in the series. He's hit the ball real well in this series. Now Jeff Kent. Now with Ramirez at second and nobody out, after a double in the second, Jeff Kent flied out, and the Indians never did get Ramirez home. Now Kent gets another shot at it, and one of the raps on him at the Mets the last couple of years was his inability to hit well in the clutch. Strike on the inside.
Big pitch by David Wells. He got behind Ramirez, 1 ball, no strikes, so Manny could afford to look for a pitch, and he looked in. But when you go 0-1, the advantage goes to the pitcher.
Franco with a 1-out single, now at third base. Ramirez, who followed with a double, is at second. A base hit to the outfield could tie the game. Baltimore 2, Cleveland nothing, last of the 4th. Came in again. This time Kent gave a shot at it. 0-2 the count. 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the Jones gun there.
You know, David Wells does not scare. Manny Ramirez whipped that fastball down the left field corner, but Wells knows he's got to utilize both sides of the plate, and he came right back in on Kent.
I think he's going to stay there.
Sandy Alomar on deck. And indeed he does. Stays right on the inside, missing this time.
Well, the great left-hander Warren Spahn once said that hitting is timing and the art of pitching is upsetting that timing. Wells is pounding Kent in. Again, we talk about speeding up the bat. The question is Wells going to stay in there, or maybe with Kent thinking inside, he's going to throw the hook to him?
Stays in there. It is 2-2.
Pounded him in 4 times in a row. But as a hitter with 2 strikes, you really can't afford to guess. Wells has got 2 options. Either stay in there or go off speed. He is not throwing a changeup today, but it would probably be curveball or fastball in.
Franco at third, Ramirez at second, 1 out. Fastball in, and he popped him up. straight fastballs to the inside. And Jeff Kent. There's a few of those Cleveland faithfuls a little upset with Jeff Kent.
Well, again, when you get ahead in the count and Wells had him 0-2, you can't look for anything special. You've got to guard the plate, and Wells makes a great pitch.
So the swing back Kent, he wanted to stay inside. At the last minute, he kind of just tried to hit the ball the other way instead of just throwing the bat head out front and maybe hitting it. But like you said, with 2 strikes, you become a defensive hitter instead of an offensive hitter.
2 down now. Still 2 men in scoring position. A base hit to the outfield could still tie the game. But Cleveland has not had a hit today with somebody in scoring position. Cleveland is 0 for 5 in these spots. Alomar, strike 1 call. Alomar with Ramirez at second and 1 out in the second inning, popped up to the shortstop. Now Hoyle's out to speak to Wells. How come?
I don't know. Maybe he just wants to talk about the situation. I mean, Wells is in such a good groove. Some pitchers hate to see a catcher coming out when they're in a good groove like that.
Sandy Alomar had one of his down seasons with the bat this year. However, he did hit over 300 in September. He finished up strongly, but he is 1 for 12 in this series. 2 on, 2 out. Fastball in again and up. Alomar hacked at it, fouling it back. That's the Kirby Puckett terminology I've adopted now.
Well, it's kind of tough. I wouldn't try to teach it to anybody. Let's put it that way. It was successful for me when I played, but it's something that you don't teach.
Don't teach going up to hack.
No, I can't teach it to everybody. But I look for David Wells right here to maybe throw another fastball up here. Since Alomar seems to be hacking right now, maybe try to exploit that weakness that he has.
There's Franco at third base. Ramirez at second. He's the possible tying run. 2 down. And again, a pop foul coming back out of play. Wells seems to be having the theory today of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, whatever's working, and he's just staying with it, isn't he?
Dizzy Dean, the old right-hander, used to call it country hardball. Here it is, partner. See if you can hit it. David Wells throwing about 95% fastballs again today.
Albert Bell did not get a chance to bat with anybody on in this inning. Charles Nagy, it's starting to become a nail-biter. Cleveland has to win today, or it's over. They trail 2-0. Awfully close.
Kirby,
1 and 2.
Kirby, I think the one pitch you don't want to throw here is a fastball away, because Alomar is guarding against the fastball in and also the curveball, but a pitch away from you is the one you can still reach out and maybe poke to the opposite field.
I think he might have been looking outside on that pitch, actually. I think he's looking outside for just something to poke, but Wells seems to be staying inside and pounding everybody in off the plate.
Saw the reaction on David's face. He thought that pitch was maybe a strike.
He wanted it.
And that's a tough place for a hitter where he's throwing it. It's hard to get the bat head out in front unless you're really looking inside and you're guessing.
He's got a bug problem today. He's got a few flying around in the booth, and Albert Bell taking aim at one down there, apparently.
Just letting us know it's a sweet game here.
1 and 2 the count. Base hit! Sandy Alomar has tied it up.
David Wells never went away from staying in, and finally Alomar got enough bat on the ball to launch it over Zeal's head. He kept pounding into Kent and was successful. He got Alomar 0-2, but Sandy got his arms in and just got enough of it.
So Franco and Ramirez both score. The Indians get the big hit at long last. Yeah. Sandy Alomar delivers. There goes Alomar. The ball is bunted but fouled by Vizcaino. Vizcaino flied to center his first time. Alomar was running. David Wells, oftentimes after something has not gone well, loses a little bit of his concentration. That's been a problem for him all year long. And he He seemed to forget all about Alomar there.
Pretty good job of advanced scouting, perhaps, by the Indians.
As you can see, David's still upset about that pitch that he threw. Kicking dirt and just walking around and trying to get his composure, trying to regain his composure.
It's one of those pitches you say, if he gets Alomar out, man, he went to his strength, he kept pounding in. Then if he gets a base hit, you say, well, maybe you can't throw a major league hitter 5 pitches in a row in the same place.
Check swing foul by Vizcaino, out of play, and now it is 0-2.
One of the reasons that baseball is the greatest conversation piece ever invented.
Well, also, I mean, if you're going inside pitch after pitch, I mean, you better keep it well inside, right? I mean, you're also living a little bit dangerously if you don't always quite get it right where you want it.
Well, as a pitcher, they tell you, if you're going to get it in, get it in. If you miss, you can get hurt.
Sandy Alomar delivering in the clutch for the Cleveland Indians on a day when nobody else had up till now. Alomar easily back. So Roberto Alomar made all the headlines with the bat this year and almost every year in terms of the Alomar family, but Sandy Alomar, the man who gets the big hit in this ball game, the other Alomar. There goes Alomar. Hoyles throws down. Roberto with a tag. Out! So the kid brother tags out Sandy Alomar to end the inning. But Sandy Alomar has delivered in the clutch. And we start over again. It's 2-2 now. And the top of the order coming up for Baltimore. Anderson, Zeal, and Roberto Alomar.
Arlington, Bobby Witt in the top of the 4th, pitching with a 4-1 lead. Hangs the curve. Cecil Fielder pounds it up the middle. The Yanks are on the board. After an O'Neill flyout, Mariano Duncan continues his hot hitting in the series. Pitch up at his breasts. Knocks that into center 4-2. Danny Patterson came in and gave up a hit. And now it's up to Dennis Cook to try and quell the Yankee rally.
So the big rally being mounted by the Yankees there on a day where the Rangers could be eliminated. Here, the Cleveland Indians could be eliminated, and they have been the ones who have rallied. It is 2-2 as Brady Anderson leads off for Baltimore as we go to the 5th inning. Brady has walked and flied to right against Charles Nagy. And there's ball 2.
Nagy did a terrific job of keeping his club in after giving up the solo homers in the 2nd, men at 1st and 2nd in the 3rd, and he struck out Palmeiro and Bonilla. Kept the crowd in the game, and now the Indians have come back.
That breaking ball in there for a strike. The thing I don't understand is why was Alomar running there? Wouldn't you rather have Kenny Lofton leading off the next inning than Vizcaino?
Yeah, I think so, but I think, again, the Indians have just been relentless and aggressive, and they feel Hoyles can't throw, so they were going to take a shot at it.
In the dirt. It is 3-1 to Brady Anderson. David Wells, who gave up that big 2-run single to Sandy Alomar, was none too pleased when he went back into the dugout. Yeah.
Remember that one pitch to Alomar that he thought was a strike, and now all of a sudden it looks like the Indians are going to put the shift on Brady Anderson with the count 3-1. Omar Vizquel has run over on the second base side.
Yeah, only the third baseman, Kent, remains on the left side. Well, now they are showing him respect, aren't they?
Yes.
The 50 home run man is getting that ultimate respect. Ground ball to the right side, bobbled by Vizcaino. Off the bag, and he's safe. Vizcaino bobbled it. His hurried throw took Franco off the bag, and Anderson hustling all the way on a routine grounder, and that's why he made it.
Well, they got Jose for better defense. He bobbles, and I think Franco's inexperience in first base shows a little bit. He starts stretching too soon when he didn't have to, and when you stretch too soon, then if you have to jump, you can't get back down on the base. In between hop. Now watch Franco. He's starting to stretch out, and he can't get back down on the base.
You got to give credit for Brady, though, for busting this behind down to first base right there.
A lot of guys on a routine ground ball, they're just kind of streamlining down the first base line instead of going all out like that.
This is no time to go into the Cadillac trots.
Here's Todd Zeal. He is fouled to short, and he has singled into left field. Anderson at first, nobody out. Ball 1. Roberto Alomar on deck. And then into the big Baltimore power after Alomar.
One of the biggest misconceptions in baseball, there's a saying that, hey, anybody can play first base. And they're right, anybody can, but there's only a few that play first base well. And Franco, a second baseman by trade most of his career, started to stretch a little early there.
Brady Anderson attempted a steal back in the first inning, and Sandy Alomar threw him out. Anderson has stolen more than 50 bases in a season in years past. Zia looking to bunt, taking. Ball 2.
Not a bad play by Zeal. The sacrifice bunt wasn't on, but Kent was playing deep, and Jeff, not a great third baseman if Todd could have gotten it down.
Well, Zeal going to get any pitch to hit right here. This is a good pitch. Go get a fastball or something to hit right here, but I don't think Nagy's going to give in to him.
Kent charging it, bobbles it, recovers, out at first base. But the lead man allowed to move along. Anderson to second base. And all of a sudden, the Cleveland Indians can't catch the ball.
Well, it's not a great defensive team to begin with, but Vizcaíno was supposed to help. They know Kent's a little bit of a liability defensively. It's a good thing for Jeff that it was Todd Zeal, not a fast runner, because they only get him by a half step.
Now Roberto Alomar up in a similar spot to the one his brother Sandy just excelled in. An RBI opportunity. Sinker for a strike on the outside.
Indians have two great Gold Glove defenders, Kenny Lofton and Omar Vizquel. Sandy Alomar certainly a serviceable catcher, but the rest of the pack defensively a little bit below normal.
Roberto Alomar is fly down deep to left center and hit a line drive that Vizquel almost caught. Back to Nagy. He's got Brady Anderson hung up. Runs right toward him. And Brady is safe. They get nobody. Now that is unbelievable.
Well, Charles Nagy was trying to make a play where he could get both guys, but he lost focus on the first guy. He was waiting for Alomar to start coming down to second. And boy, you talk about a vapor lock, and Charles knows he just made a major mistake.
Well, Alomar was way around first base, and Brady was making eye contact with him, but then Alomar went back as Brady headed back to second.
Well, Charles tried to do the right thing right there and run him back to the base. He's looking at Alomar. He's looking. And he doesn't want to throw the ball. He's thinking that Alomar's going to come all the way around, and both of them end up at second. But Alomar been stopping at first base and recognizing Brady was going to get back. See him watching for Alomar when he should be looking to get Brady out. He's the lead runner.
That's a play the Dodgers, when Maury Wills was playing shortstop, they used to work on all the time. They'd get that guy trapped and bait the runner from first base to come down. They'd get the runner going back to second. They'd flip it to the second baseman. He'd tag Alomar coming down from first, and they'd still have the guy in the rundown. That was something they worked on. I think Nagy probably has worked on that play before, but he just vapor locked there.
So 3 batters have batted. Cleveland has booted 2 ground balls, and now a mental error. And the Orioles have 2 men on and 1 man out, and their leading RBI man at the plate, Rafael Palmeiro. He has hit a home run today, and it's a foul. So it could be another one of those moments of truth for the Cleveland Indians here, but this crisis really of their own making.
Well, great teams take advantage of mistakes, and this is the Orioles' chance right here. Brady Anderson and Roberto Alomar.
The Orioles do not have a hit in this inning, and they have not hit the ball out of the infield in this inning. Alomar reaches on what is ruled a fielder's choice. No error, of course, can be charged. Anderson reached on the Vizcaíno error to start the inning. To Rafael Palmeiro.
And by Kent bobbling the ball, he had a play at second on Brady. He would have had a forced play there. So then Nagy snatching that ground ball from Alomar would have had a chance at a double play.
A big game like this, you can't afford to give the opposition any more outs than you have to.
Now Palmeiro trying to make him pay for it here in the 5th. 2-2.
Well, I mentioned at the top of the telecast, more crucial games are lost by bad plays than are won by doing something in the clutch.
Nagy with another good fork ball. He's had the good fork ball working all day. Going down and away from Rafi right here. Rafi needs to make an adjustment right here and stay back. And hopefully just flick it over the third baseman's head.
Yeah, he struck out on a fork ball back in the third. Fastball, but it missed inside. We got Bonilla looking at a similar type pitch with a little more movement on it back in the third. Not this time.
Well, I think that's a great call by Alomar. They figure Palmeiro's probably thinking fork ball away. Just missed.
Are the runners going? 3-2, 1 out. What do you think, Kirby?
Yes.
They're not going. Strike 3. Palmeiro struck out on ball 4.
Well, the 2-2 fastball got Palmeiro inside conscious, and we talk about speeding up the bat. Then he goes to the fork ball, and Palmeiro way out in front.
Nagy with that real good fork ball going today. Not giving in to hitters. That shows you he's a good, real good pitchers don't give in to hitters. They go at their best stuff, and right now today his fork ball seems to be the pitch that he's getting people out with.
Hargrove. I mean, we can't tell who he's hollering at.
I think he was hollering at Larry Young on that 2-2 pitch, the inside fastball.
But here's Bobby Bonilla. 2 on, 2 out in the 5th inning. Foul ball, strike 1 to Bonilla. Now, in the 3rd inning, 2 men were on base with 1 man out. Palmeiro struck out, and so did Bonilla. Now, the same situation with the same 2 hitters. And Nagy trying to get out of the jam again.
Well, that was a different pitch right there. He hasn't thrown many breaking balls. He's been going primarily with his fork ball.
1-1 to Bonilla, who has a home run before striking out in the 3rd.
Book on Bobby Bonilla, when he was in the National League, you could change up on him all the time, and basically that fork ball is like a change up. He is a dead red hitter.
Strike 2 call. Now, after the argument, they get that call on the inside.
Well, Bobby right now going low. Fastball in. I got to protect against the fork ball. This guy is making quality pitches right now.
Anderson at second. Alomar at first. It is 2-2 now to Bonilla. Cal Ripken on deck. He would be next. The Cleveland bullpen is very busy, by the way. Anderson and Alomar will be off and running at the crack of the bat with 2 down here in the 5th. It's a foul, and he's still alive.
Another good fork ball by Nagy right there. Bobby Bonilla out in front of it. Just got enough of it to foul it off.
The right-hander Chad O'Jay, the left-hander Alan Embry up in the Cleveland bullpen. 2-2. The Orioles all of a sudden. The ball club that can't get the big hit. Strike 3 call. That's the 2nd time in a row that he has struck out Bonilla with that pitch. And again, Nagy gets out of the big jam, striking out Palmeiro and Bonilla consecutively. Division series, Baltimore leading 2-1. The game itself tied. We go to the last of the 5th. Jose Vizcaíno takes ball 1 from David Wells. Vizcaíno was at the plate when Sandy Alomar was thrown out trying to steal to win the 4th inning. In fact, that's why Vizcaíno was at the plate instead of perhaps Kenny Lofton leading off here. Lofton is on deck. Base hit. And how much longer can David Wells throw almost nothing but fastballs and continue to get them out?
Wells up in the zone with this one, and Vizcaíno just takes it the other way. Yeah, John, one thing that happened last inning, I thought Mike Hargrove made a good move. After Nagy made that bad play at second base, he immediately went to the mound and tried to settle him down. And Nagy came back to strike out Palmeiro and Bonilla to overcome the terrible defense in that top of the 5th inning.
He stayed focused. Here's Kenny Lofton. And Vizcaino back to the bag at first. All right, you got Lofton up there. He can do a lot of things. You're Mike Hargrove. What do you do here, Kirby?
I think you think about maybe letting the runner move right here, but if not, then Kenny's going to get the bunt down. Got to get the guy over here. Zio's right on.
There's the bunt, but foul.
Yeah, you know Kenny's not going to square around and give himself up. If he's got enough confidence in his bunting ability for a base hit, if he bunts it just a little bit hard, then he'll be out at first, but he's still going to advance the man.
So bunt it and try to beat it out, but at worst, move the man up.
It's called being a team player.
Yeah, that's what you were all about, Kirby.
There's no I in team.
No balls, 1 strike to Lofton. The bunt. Zio with 1 play, that's the first. And Lofton has moved up Vizcaino, the possible go-ahead run. And they'll have a couple of shots to try and bring him home. Vizquel coming up, and then Seitzer behind him. Again, Mike Hargrove going for the 1 run. He did it last night. And, of course, with a couple of breaks, he ended up getting 4 runs from Albert Bell, but he pinch hit for Tomey with Casey Candel trying to get the sacrifice and go for the 1.
Well, Mike obviously loves the way Charles Nagy is pitching today, and he's got a lot of confidence in his bullpen. So he'd like to get a lead. They've been behind all day until they finally caught up on the Alomar hit.
Vizquel has walked and he has struck out. Now he's trying to be the RBI man. And another fastball, and it's 0-1.
Another reason you might want to play for 1 run in this situation. The shadows are at about the 3rd baseline. They're going to be coming fairly soon across the diamond.
Not good news for hitters.
Vizquel is hitting .400 in this series. One and one. By the way, you have to like the way Nagy has pitched today. He got 9 strikeouts, which is a Cleveland postseason record. Cleveland pitcher, Bob Feller included. One of the great strikeout pitchers of all time. Ever had 9 in a postseason game. Of course, when Bob Feller played, postseason meant the World Series.
Nobody was throwing a split finger pitch then either.
Down the left field line, and it's a base hit. Cleveland has gone ahead. Kirby, I was a little surprised, and you were an outstanding outfielder, the way Cavilla played that ball. I thought it might have been catchable.
I thought he was going over there to catch it myself. I think that maybe it's a little tough to see with the shadow going in. See Vizquel hit a line drive right there. Not planning to pull, but I guess he maybe could have dove for it, but I guess did the best he could in that play. But I think he should have maybe dove for it, or maybe. But hindsight's 20/20, man. I'm not up here to second guess anybody. He's doing the best he can. He hasn't been playing, so you can't ask much more than what he's given. Unfortunately, these circumstances aren't the right time to do that.
Vizcaino had a great read off second base. In his mind, Incavilla was not going to catch it.
Yeah, Vizcaino was coming hard all the way. Seitzer the hitter. With Vizquel, a base-stealing threat at first base. So Hargrove played it for the 1, and it has worked. They've gotten the run home, and now they're going for more. And the Baltimore bullpen gets up for the first time.
You know, Cleveland, once they smell blood, they kind of get after you.
Rocky Coppinger, the young right-hander, in the bullpen for Baltimore. Vizquel back to the bag at first. Seitzer is 0 for 2. There's Coppinger, big, hard-throwing right-hander. He was used mostly as a starter in the regular season.
Johnson saw his team with a couple of chances to blow this one open, but Charles Nagy has gotten Rafael Palmeiro and Bobby Bonilla twice with 2 men on base.
Not hit hard enough for a double play. They get the one at second. Swing for first. They almost turned the two.
I thought they were going for the one right there. Roberto Alomar with the quick hands. Ball from Cal, tried to turn it anyway, and it was close.
Let's take a look at that. In the same speed at which it happened. As they nearly turned the slow bouncer into a double play.
Well, Seitz out in front of this pitch a little bit, hits it off the end. And you see Seitz hustling down, Rip with the quick toss. Alomar comes up and throws, really close.
And of course, all the commotion now as Vizquel has been forced out is for Albert Bell. He has been walked intentionally and is lined out to center today. Strike, a beauty on the outside, knee high.
Well, Davy Johnson had two options: let Wells stay in and pitch to Bell, or bring in the right-handed Coppinger, who's elected to stay with Wells.
Bell is 0 for 4 against Wells in this series. Cleveland with a one-run lead. Albert trying to lengthen that lead. On the inside, strike two call.
Pretty apparent Albert's thought process is that probably 3 out of every 4 pitches Wells is going to try to keep away from him to go the other way. But twice in the game, Wells has come in on Albert, and Albert's kind of lifted the arms, and you know he's not looking in that situation.
Oh, he's not. Larry Young behind the plate. First pitch was outside, gave him that one, then he came inside to get an inside strike two. So you get both sides of the plate, which is good news for a pitcher.
So if you're Wells, you come back inside here?
I wouldn't.
He tries it, and he gets him to hit a high fly ball into a fairly shallow center. Anderson battling the sun. That is the inning. Cleveland has gone ahead. Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray, and Pete Incaviglia coming up in the 6th. American League Division Series, Baltimore, Cleveland. Cleveland ahead in the game now, but still trailing 2-1 in the series. We head to the 6th. Cal Ripken ready to lead it off for the Orioles. Then Eddie Murray, the two veterans, and then Pete Incaviglia. Charles Nagy working with a lead for the first time today. The Orioles had gone ahead in the 2nd when Palmeiro and Bonilla hit back-to-back home runs against him. Cal bluffing the bunt, taking a called strike. It's ironic. Palmeiro and Bonilla hit those back-to-back home runs, and yet the game has really turned here, at least for now, on Nagy's getting both Palmeiro and Bonilla in big RBI situations in the 3rd and 5th innings. Inside to Cal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Nagy has thrown 90 pitches in the game, so working for the first time in his life on 3 days of rest. Hargrove has to be concerned about that, and he's got his bullpen going already. He'll be ready if needed here in the 6th. Missing outside. 2-1 to Ripken.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really surprised that David Wells didn't show the Cleveland hitters a little something, just to throw a curveball, just to show them, or change up, just to show them. He primarily relied on his fastball today, and against these good Cleveland hitting team, you can't do that.
Time called as the ball is loose out in center field. Kenny Lofton's going to have to police it up. Well, David, I guess, he just likes his fastball. He's always been a fastball pitcher. I agree with you, Kirby. You got to change speeds once in a while, but Wells pitched so well in game 1 and has gotten a lot of big outs on his fastball today. He gave up 2 hits on it, but I guess when you throw 95% fastballs, you're going to get some hits off it.
So the Cleveland bullpen, Paul Shuey, the right-hander, Alan Embry, the left-hander. One of them threw one wildly there a moment ago. The forkball. It is 2-2 to Ripken.
Some right-handed pitchers won't throw right-handed batters or split finger or forkball because it goes down into their power zone. But Nagy loves his forkball so much today, he's throwing it to everybody.
You got a good one like he's got. You throw it whenever you want.
That is a foul ball. Now, Kirby, what about this Cal stance? I mean, you always remember Cal with that quiet stance and standing almost straight up, right? Now he's in that crouch and he's wiggling the bat around.
Well, I tell you what, I played 13 years, and every time I looked around, he had a different stance.
Look at this. And it's always a big topic in Baltimore. You came to dinner the other night, and my 9-year-old Alex said, Kirby, what stance do you think Cal's going to use?
And I said number 76. I've never seen this before. This is all new.
One thing you know about Cal, though, there's always some kind of a scientific reason for it. I mean, he's got this game pretty well figured out.
The guy who was like that was Yastrzemski. He struck him out. Ripken is gone, 10 strikeouts. Now an update from Texas. Here's Gary Miller.
Juan Gonzalez again. They try another pitcher, David Weathers, to see if they can get him out. In a tight spot, he gets him on a 3-2 pitch. Then Will Clark, with 2 aboard, grounds into a double play. And then the Yanks come up in there after the 5th. Roger Pavlik gets one up in the eyes of Bernie Williams, and for the 2nd straight day, he homers. The bullpens have different results, and the game is tied at 4.
And Bernie is coming up big time in the postseason for the Yankees, isn't he? Here's Eddie Murray, and he takes low for ball 1.
Yeah, that game, Joe Torre trying to get a lead after 6, and if he does that with Mariano Rivera and John Wetland, it may be lights out in Texas for the Rangers.
Eddie Murray has struck out and singled. Strike. Fastball right on the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Murray.
Nagy is painting the edges.
Picasso.
He has struck out 3 Orioles in a row and 10 for the game. Two and 1.
I thought Larry Young was umpiring today. It seems like I hear about 10,000 people groaning every time you get a call.
Well, the way Nagy's throwing today, this is the Charles Nagy that everybody looks forward to seeing every time he takes the mound. And he knows that he didn't have his stuff right in Baltimore, but he's getting it right today, and he's doing great.
3 and 1. Yeah, we're seeing the real Nagy, the Nagy that we did not see on Tuesday in Baltimore. He was 17 and 5 during the regular season. Look how many times he has thrown that forkball today, guys.
Well, let's see what he does with Eddie Murray. Eddie will look fastball in this situation. He got one, but it was not a strike.
Try to do against Nagy is make him get the ball up as a hitter. If he doesn't get it up, you're not going to do much with it when you hit it low anyway.
Well, he went away from Murray 3 and 1. Let's see here.
And he walked him. Murray checking his swing. Nagy kicking at the dirt at the front of the mound. That is the first time that he has walked somebody since he walked Brady Anderson to start the game.
Well, the key outs in this game were all strikeouts by Charles Nagy. After a 2-2 fastball, gets Bonilla, Taylor, then in the 5th with 2 on after a fastball. Palmeiro chases the fork ball. Bonilla maybe looking fork ball, gets the heater, and Bobby upset, but that pitch was right there.
And he struck out Bonilla with almost the same pitch in both of those innings.
Well, he throws that fastball to a left-handed hitter. It looks like it's going to come inside to you, and all of a sudden he just tails back and catches some of the plate, which is a tough plate, a tough ball for a hitter to guess on, because you think it's going to be a ball, and all of a sudden it just comes right back.
1 out. Murray at first. In Cavilla, the hitter. Now there's one. That's maybe the highest pitch he's thrown all day.
Well, Mike Hargrove had a tough decision yesterday with Jack McDowell after he had retired 8 in a row. Hargrove went and got him. He's sitting there right now. He knows the pitch count that Charles Nagy is up, and he also knows he's back in that decision mode again. Should I or shouldn't I?
A foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. I thought McDowell after the game handled that situation diplomatically, but also with a great deal of thought. He said, I can understand why Mike took me out of the ball game, but as for myself, because of the way I have always been used, I don't think it was the right decision. And yet I understand why he did it. McDowell had retired 8 in a row and really seemed to be in a groove for the first time all day when Hargrove removed him. And It's 1-2 to Incaviglia.
Manager's always a tough job, but postseason, everything riding on your decisions. I mean, here they go get McDowell, give him nearly $5 million, and he's always been a deep-in-the-game pitcher, and yet Hargrove said, I've got to do this in my own mind.
And it worked.
And as a manager, that's what you have to do. You have to go with what you feel. If it goes right, you're a hero. If it doesn't go right, then you're a GOAT.
You're big on the talk shows the next day when it doesn't go right.
2-2 now to Incaviglia. Dangerous hitter. You make a mistake with him, he can launch it. Incaviglia and Nagy. Incaviglia playing today. This would ordinarily be B.J. Surhoff batting right now. He's had the home run bat going in this series, but Surhoff pulled a hamstring muscle last night, beating out an infield hit in the 9th inning.
Eddie Murray had a little conversation with John Stearns at first base.
Kevin Seitzer leading the cheers from the Cleveland dugout. Struck him out, and that's 11 for Nagy.
Talk about elevation in the pitching. First game up with everything. This game down with everything. 11 strikeouts for Charles Nagy.
Guess maybe pitching on 3 days rest for the first time has really paid off for him. He's a single ball pitcher anyway, and kind of like Dave said, maybe he was too strong first game.
Well, if this goes to a game 5, Scott Erickson could be in the same mode tomorrow. He's a sinker ball pitcher, and he'll be pitching a day short.
As will Hershiser tomorrow, if we get there. That's ball 1 to Chris Hoyles.
Talked to Earl before the game today, and I said, when's the last time you pitched on 3 days rest? He said game 5 of the World Series, and the game we beat Greg Maddux last year. I asked him, did you throw in between starts this time? He said no.
It's 3-2 for Cleveland. Chris Hoyles, a strike. Hoyles has struck out twice. Nagy did not strike out anybody in the first inning. So in the last 4 2/3 innings, he has 11 strikeouts.
If you like pitching, this is the game you want to look at.
He also has thrown 108 pitches for the game now, and we're only in the 6th. Strike 2. Getting all those strikeouts, you have to throw some pitches. Takes a toll.
And he's got great location today. He's got exactly what he didn't have in the first game. Keeping the ball low, got a great forkball today. And I'm sure we'll be seeing it right here this pitch.
Murray back to the bag at first. Murray, the runner with 2 down in the 6th inning. 3-2, Cleveland ahead. Hoyles has already struck out twice. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here.
Well, Ted Williams was the splendid splinter. Today, Charles Nagy has the splendid splitter.
You put that nicely, Dave.
Murray had just started off the bag. Nagy made the throw over there.
Oh, Eddie over there trying to catch Nagy sleeping maybe and take off on him. If you don't pay attention to Eddie, he will take off.
That is number 12 for Nagy in 6 innings. The Cleveland ace has come up big time in the clutch today. 3-2 Cleveland. For the division series, we go to the last of the 6th inning. That's the view from high above Jacobs Field from the Goodyear Blimp. Stars and stripes. Our thanks to Captain Maloney and the crew for the many spectacular shots during today's telecast. Julio Franco leads it off for Cleveland. He led off a rally in the 4th with 1 out when he hit a single to right field against Wells, and later scored on a single by Alomar when the Cleveland Indians tied the game. gum on the hat trick there, Kirby. Franco loses the bat. Look out. Oh, my. Two and one now to Franco. That one ended up in one of the luxury boxes there, the dugout level, which they have here in Cleveland.
I think they pay $100,000 to have a bat thrown at them.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad it didn't hit anybody. You know, Julio, when he hits, he only uses his bottom hand. He holds it with only 2 fingers and his thumb on the knob. So you can understand that he wants to use every piece of the bat. And that one right there, just so much top hand right there, getting out front, just slipped right out of his hands. Hopefully nobody's hurt.
So they've given the fan another bat in trade for Julio's gamer.
Yeah, well.
So the bat has got, the man has got a bat for his troubles. I just hope he doesn't need a doctor. This afternoon, 4th-ranked Penn State versus number 3 Ohio State. And, of course, they're looking forward to that one here in this part of the country. That's at 3:30 Eastern coming up shortly on ABC. Then at 7 Eastern tonight on ESPN. 2nd-ranked Florida State takes on Clemson. Great college football action on ABC and then later on ESPN. Franco loses the bat again.
Julio.
Come on, these are paying customers, Julio.
You got to tie a rope on that bat and put it around your wrist. You do the racquetball when you're playing racquetball.
Dave Winfield used to lose the bat a lot.
Dave Winfield used to throw the bat a whole lot.
Obviously, he's hurt his left wrist.
I think that might hurt his wrist. That's probably why he's letting it go at the top hand. He's getting, you see, as he hold the bat right there, you see Julio holding the bat up. He only holds it with 2 fingers. He's the first guy I've ever seen on the bottom of the knob with 2 fingers. Just goes to show you how strong he is. And then points it at the pitcher and is strong enough to get the bat around the hit.
Mike Piazza has that overlap grip too, but I don't think to that extreme.
There's a rare breaking ball from Wells. 3-2 the count now. Ramirez, who's hit 2 doubles today, is on deck. There's Manny. He's having a very fine series with the bat now. Well, he held on to the bat that time. The ball fouled and out of play.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the 2 fingers. See, he has this, like his long finger. He has the knuckle on the knob of the bat. So he's actually holding that bat with just 2 fingers, his bottom hand. The bat's about 36 inches long. He just makes it a little bit longer.
A slider inside, and he walked him. Charles Nagy has already thrown more than 110 pitches, but Wells has just passed 80, so he should be able to go a while longer yet. We don't even know if we'll see Nagy again, despite his effectiveness. They've got the bullpen busy out there for Cleveland, even as the Indians are batting here.
Well, decision time for Mike Hargrove. Some of it might be predicated on what happens this half inning.
And Franco back to the bag over there. Ramirez is doubled into right center, although ball might have been catchable. The Orioles had a mix-up in the outfield. But then in the 4th inning, he drilled a double down the left field line, helping set up the 2 runs that they scored when they tied the game. And he's always hit Wells successfully. See Wells blowing in the hand gives you an idea that how cool it is here today, despite the sunlight. That is a strike. That might be his first changeup of the day.
Now, David Wells is not a ground ball pitcher, so if you're thinking double play ball, maybe if he decides to go off speed, he's got a better shot to get it. But with that riding fastball, you don't get an awful lot of ground balls.
Ramirez with 2 homers and 2 doubles in this series. 3-2. Cleveland, last of the 6, nobody out. This could be 2. Alomar to his left. Here's 1. Not in time. A poor feed by Alomar to Ripken at second base.
Anytime you make that second baseman go to his left where he has to make the pivot and throw, you got a better chance of beating out the double play ball. And as John said, Robbie didn't give Cal a particularly good feed to work with.
Well, he turned. Robbie got there and he turned, and I guess maybe he's looking at it now. Maybe he should have stopped and just pivoted and threw, but at least they got the lead runner. Double play still in order.
Might have been a situation where he didn't get a good grip on the baseball because he kind of shot-putted it over to Cal.
Just didn't have anything on the throw to Cal. Threw him a changeup over there, and here's Jeff Kent. He's flying to right center, popped out to third. He's 0 for 2. Ramirez back to the bag.
As an infielder, when you field the ball, you reach in and try to grab it with the 2 fingers with your thumb underneath, but once in a while you get the whole ball in your hand. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a changeup.
In the bullpen, Alan Embry, a left-hander. And there's also a right-hander warming up out there as well. So the first, Ramirez is back. Paul Shuey is the right-hander, along with the left-hander, Alan Embry. So at this point, we can't say for sure if we'll see Charles Nagy again, even though he has been sensational here today. 0-1 the count now to Jeff Kent. On deck. You see Nagy, the key figure there at this point, 110 pitches thrown. Slider in the dirt for Wells. Nice save by Hoyles, keeping the double play in order here. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's so hard. You know, last year Cleveland won the first round against Boston in 3 games, and the staff was all rested and ready to go for the league championship series against Seattle. But I mean, this first series can really take it out of a staff.
Absolutely. I mean, Nagy, 110 pitches today, but I guess the crazy thing is he's throwing much better day with less rest. He struggled when he had a lot of rest.
I think they ought to throw him on 3 days rest all the time.
I think Charles's agent probably disagrees with you.
Nagy said, and we mentioned it a couple of times, they said, when's the last time you worked with 3 days rest? He says, I never have. Anytime, anywhere. This will be the first time in my life. And it seems to agree with it.
Definitely a day to remember for Charles so far.
It's softly back to Wells. He gets the out there. Alomar back to first, not in time. Jeff Kent well past the bag at first.
Well, with Sandy Alomar coming up, the Indians have some veteran players they've acquired, like Oral Hershiser, Kevin Seitzer of late. But the seniority on the Indians, the 4 most senior guys are Alomar, Lofton, Albert Bell, and Charles Nagy, and the leaders have stepped up. Alomar with the big hit. Nagy's pitched brilliantly. Albert Bell had the huge home run yesterday, and Kenny Lofton set the table. Lofton's taken over a leadership role in this team now that Eddie Murray and Carlos Baerga have left.
Here is Sandy Alomar. We're talking about that huge home run yesterday by Bell. How about the huge base hit by Alomar with 2 down in the 4th inning today? Zeal to second. Roberto Alomar covering for the force on Kent. We head to the 7th inning now. The top of the Baltimore Orioles order combination series. Baltimore versus Cleveland continues now. We head into the late innings, and Cleveland, needing a win to stay alive in the series, is leading 3-2. But Charles Nagy, after a brilliant 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, equaling his career record, is gone. And Alan Embry, the young lefty, has come on to face the left-handed batting Brady Anderson. And that Cleveland bullpen, meanwhile, is also very busy behind him. He may be in just to face the 1 batter. Zeal is on deck. And that blazing fastball for a strike. And that's what you'll see from Embry.
Brady hit .251 with 13 homers against lefties, but .319, 37 home runs against right-handers.
Did he swing? Yes. Jim Evans making the call from third base.
That's Brady right here. He's getting out there and he's see the fastball. He can't stop. Check swing is hard to do. With that shadow up there, it's tough to see right now. And Embry throws pretty hard.
Brady is in the shadows, as Kirby mentioned, and looking out at a brilliant, sunshiny background. 1-2.
You mentioned when Mike Hargrove played for 1 run back in the 5th inning that the shadows eventually were going to come into play, and they're definitely there now.
You see the shadows of this late October afternoon. 2-2. As we say, Embry might be on just to face Brady Anderson in the bullpen. The right-hander in the shadows in the bullpen there, Paul Shuey, the left-hander, the veteran, Paul Assenmacher. Pop foul and back out of play.
John, I played in a game in 1970 against Tom Seaver in New York, where he set a major league record striking out 10 in a row, and they were the last 10 in the ball game. He struck out 19 that day. And I don't want to demean Tom's effort, but there was a huge shadow that afternoon that rolled across, and I mean, it was impossible. I think we hit 1 foul ball out of the 10 batters.
But just as long as you don't demean what he did. There, down goes Brady Anderson. So Embry picks right up where Nagy left off. Nagy had retired 5 of the last 6 batters that he had faced before retiring. 7 of the last 8 outs he recorded were on strikeouts. Don't forget now at 4 o'clock, game 3, the Dodgers and the Braves. Nomo and Glavine from Atlanta. That'll be on Fox at 4 o'clock. And then tonight, the Cardinals and Padres in San Diego at 7:30. That will be on NBC. My partner Joe Morgan will be out there as part of the crew. And Bob Costas and Bob Uecker. Another pitching change. Embry is in fact gone. Shuey is coming in. 3-2, Cleveland leading Baltimore, 7th inning. There's the view of Jacobs Field, which has been rocking again today, just as it was last night. Paul Shuey is the new pitcher, and he is most likely also on for just 1 hitter, Todd Zeal. More bullpen activity going for Cleveland with Roberto Alomar on deck. That one hit hard into left center field. Lofton, not this time. Zeal to second base. And he'll stop there.
Zeal hit that ball pretty good. I don't think Kenny Lofton, that shadow might have bothered him, I think, on that line drive. He didn't see it right away. Then he tried to get back to get it. And the angle he took, he reached his arm up and just couldn't make the catch.
Kenny ran a little bit of a circle route, but I agree with you, Kirby. I don't think he saw it coming out of the shadows. I mean, he saw the ball, but he couldn't really judge the flight and the distance.
Well, he couldn't judge it. And then when he tried to get back, he turned the afterburners on and kind of almost just got right by him. He reached up and hit off his glove, but his glove wasn't open. It was kind of closed.
So Shuey gives up the double, and with Roberto Alomar coming up, Paul Assenmacher, the ESPN's coverage of the American League Division Series between Baltimore and Cleveland. Game 4 continues now from the Jake. I'm John Miller with Dave Campbell and Kirby Puckett, and everybody a little bit nervous here right now because the Orioles had the game's possible tying run at second base with 1 out, and Assenmacher, the veteran lefty, who was the winning pitcher yesterday, he only threw 4 pitches, but he got the win, has come on to face Roberto Alomar with Palmeiro behind him. Now yesterday, it's interesting here, Shuey in the 7th inning stayed in the ball game to face Roberto Alomar, ended up walking him, and then Hargrove brought in Assenmacher. Today he says, no, I want Asemacher versus Alomar in this one.
John, Davy Johnson's at least got to consider running for Todd Zeile, who's not a fast man. But on the other side of the coin, Davy also thinking maybe Zeile hits again in the 9th inning, and it's tough to take out a guy with 25 homers and 99 runs batted in.
They're staying with Zeile as Alomar stands in. Way late on that pitch. 0-1 the count.
Robbie.
Looked like a changeup right there, didn't it? Started off on a changeup. Asemacher's best pitch is a slider down and into a right-handed hitter.
Alomar had one of his better years hitting right-handed this year. That's the fastball. 0-2 the count.
He was plus 82 over what a year ago. He hit in the 230s right-handed. But he's made himself a much better right-handed hitter this year. But still, Hargrove goes with the percentages.
Both bullpens are busy right now. We cannot see into the Baltimore bullpen. 1-2. 3-2. Cleveland ahead in the 7th inning. Paul Shuey came in, threw one pitch. Zeile hit it off the glove of Kenny Lofton. Zeile is at second after his double. Struck him out in a slider in the dirt. Sandy will have to throw the ball to second or to first base. And Zeile holds at second. And that leaves it to Palmeiro.
Well, I said Asemacher's best pitch was a slider down and in.
Wonder if Sandy had any deja vu after this ball went in the dirt with Robbie running down to first, a little bit on the inside of the line. He's got to make that throw again, that critical throw in game 2. Take a look. Robbie taking off inside the baseline, and Sandy's going, uh-oh, I've seen this before. But he got a good throw to Julio Franco.
I think Asemacher did right there what you're supposed to do as a pitcher coming out of the bullpen. He showed all his pitches. He started them off with a changeup, threw a fastball, and then threw the slider down and in. As a right-handed hitter, you know it's coming, but it's kind of hard to lay off of it.
Here's Palmeiro. Now we know the Orioles need a run. And Palmeiro has been up in a spot similar to this 2 straight times and struck out both times. Did he swing at that slider? No, he did not, says Jim Evans, and it is 1 ball and no strikes. But when's the last time you've seen so many pitches in the dirt swung at? I mean, the Orioles have struck out 14 times in this game. In fact, the last 7 Orioles outs have been on strikeouts.
Well, it was Nagy and the darting pitches early, and now it's a combination of the pitches and the shadows that are causing some of those half swings.
He made a point out of Cleveland's problems with men in scoring position this series, and they've been big problems. Today, the Orioles as a team are 0 for 6 when they've had a runner at second base. Palmeiro homered in the 2nd. Bonilla followed that with a homer. Back-to-back home runs, and those are the Orioles' only runs.
Well, if Rafi reaches, decision time again for Mike Hargrove. Bonilla switch hitter. Most people feel Bobby is a better hitter right-handed.
Zeile still at second base. Palmeiro, the Orioles' leading RBI man, trying to deliver him here. You
green light him here, Kirby?
Yeah, I think you'd have to. I think that's the only chance you're going to get a fastball. That's if Asemacher gives in. I don't think he's going to give in right here. I think he's going to throw his best pitch, which is the slider. But if he throws a fastball, I'm sure Rafi might be swinging.
Well, he was swinging anyway there.
It was a slider.
And that's what I was mentioning earlier. I mean, how many bad pitches can one team swing at in a day?
Well, Rafi's come up so many times when they were runners in score position and hasn't delivered except for the home run. So now he's in a tough position again.
3-1 the count. There's a fastball.
When you throw the breaking ball 3-0, you plant that doubt in the hitter's mind.
But Asemacher right there with the shadow to help him, just throw the fastball right there.
Fastball. The last 8 Oriole outs have been on strikeouts. 15 for the game. 3-2 Cleveland. And Jose Vizcaíno, who had a key hit back in the 5th inning, he eventually scored the run that has Cleveland leading right now. Leads it off here again in the 7th. Then he takes strike 1 as he bluffed the bunt.
Don't forget about the sun now. The right fielder and the center fielder are going to have a problem right now. Tough to see the ball coming off the bat as in Lofton's situation. It's going to be tough.
It was this time of day that we began the game yesterday, and that's when Bonilla dropped the fly ball with the sunshine bothering him in the 1st inning in Game 3. And there you see the shadows from the aerial view provided by the Goodyear blimp. Vizcaíno is flying out and had that big single to right in the 5th inning. And the count now is 0-2. And behind him is Kenny Lofton. There's the blimp high above Jacobs Field here. Goodyear blimp, Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. Captain Jim Maloney taking care of business up there. David Wells, Boomer, his teammates call him, trying to take care of the Orioles, keep them close in this ball game. Hector Palmeiro comes up with it, and there is one away. And now Lofton will try it again. 15 strikeouts by Cleveland pitching today. That equals a major league record for either league championship or division championship series play. In 1993, the Philadelphia Phillies struck out 15 Atlanta Braves.
Certainly not the World Series, though. In '68, Bob Gibson struck out 17 Tigers in Game 1.
And as was the case today, the Phillies' effort was a team effort, not an individual effort like Gibson's.
Well, again, I think it was Nagy especially great today, and now tough to hit what you can't see, Kirby.
Yeah, that shadow is tougher than it looks out there. If you've never hit in the shadows before, would have got throwing 90 miles an hour or more. It's tough.
And the breaking ball is in the dirt to Kenny Lofton. Lofton has hit one back to Wells. He has been thrown out on a bunt try by Zeal, and he has had a sacrifice bunt that set up the run that has Cleveland ahead in this game right now. Officially, he's 0 for 2. He's been kept off the base paths. Fastball a strike. And David Wells has pitched another very strong ball game for the Orioles without all of the run support today. Terry Matthews up in the bullpen. Rod Hendricks, the Orioles bullpen coach, out there with him.
Alan Mills did get up yesterday, but in that cold weather said he felt a little bit of a twinge, but he's available today.
Again, looking into that bright sun in the shadows and laid on the fastball. 1 and 2.
Well, I mentioned that game when Tom Seaver struck out 19 in the last 10 in a row. One time I got out of the box and the Lee Wire was umpiring behind the plate, and he said, "What?" I said, "That last pitch sounded high."
1 and 2 now to Lofton. Wells is close, and Wells is very upset. 2 and 2.
Tough for the umpire to see it, too. Well, David maybe even still thinking about that one pitch he threw Sandy Alomar. He had that same kind of smile on his face. He had Alomar 0-2, and Larry Young called it a ball, and Sandy got that big base hit.
2 and 2 to Lofton. And a pop foul that comes back out of play. David Wells, I thought maybe we'd see a whole different approach today, but he threw fastballs on Tuesday, and he's come back and thrown, if anything, thrown more fastballs in this game. Closing in on 100 pitches in the 4th game. Cleveland has the lead, and they must keep that lead or be eliminated from this series. If they win it, Game 5 will be played here tomorrow night. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent.
Well, it appears Mike Hargrove, we mentioned Most people feel Bonilla is a more dangerous hitter right-handed, although both of his home runs in this series have come from the left side, but he brings in Plunk to turn Bonilla around.
Plunk had an outstanding year, maybe his best year. He was tough to hit, high strikeout totals, and it seemed to be the ideal time of day for a strikeout pitcher to pitch. I mean, 15 Orioles have struck out. By the way, the folks here who keep track of the records have given us some different information now. The division or league championship series record for strikeouts by team is 15, as we told you, but the Atlanta Braves set that record against Philadelphia back in '93. John Smoltz, Kent Merker, and Mark Wohlers all pitched in that ball game for Atlanta. Cleveland has issued 15 strikeouts, or picked up 15 in this ball game in only 7 innings. Bonilla this year ended up being pretty tough from either side of the plate. And a fastball, 93 miles an hour, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bonilla homered in the 2nd inning. But in the 3rd, he struck out looking, and again in the 5th. And 2 of the key sequences in this game. Palmeiro and Bonilla each striking out with 2 men out in both of those innings. 1 and 2 to Bonilla.
Rafael Palmeiro 3 times has had a man at second base and struck out after hitting a solo homer back in the 2nd inning.
Palmeiro was the Orioles' RBI leader. Bonilla was 2nd. Strike 3 call. It's the 3rd straight time that he has been called out on strikes. And that is the record now for either a division series or a championship series. 16 strikeouts by Cleveland pitching.
And as you mentioned, John, 9 in a row. The last 9 outs have been strikeouts. They aren't 9 consecutive. And Bonilla thought it was low. Larry Young said, exit stage right.
Comes out to 9 of the last 11 hitters. There was a walk and the Zio double in there. Here's Cal Ripken. He has struck out twice and lined out once. And the slider misses outside.
You know, you always talk about pitchers soaking their arm in ice. Larry Young, the home plate umpire, may have to. He's had that right arm going a lot today.
Out of Ripken. Cleveland guarding the foul lines now against the extra base hit over 3rd base. Kent very deep. And Franco right to the edge of the outfield grass at 1st base and near the line. 2-0 to Cal Ripken. 0 for 3 today. 3-0. Eddie Murray is on deck.
Well, I agree with Franco guarding the line at 1st base, but I often wonder about guarding the line at 3rd with a guy throwing 93 and the hitters not being able to see the ball. I still think the percentages are not to, but most managers don't agree with that.
And that's a strike. 3-1.
Like Billy Martin when he had Goose Gossage and he never guarded the line. Somebody throwing that hard. Greg Nettles used to play over closer to shortstop than he did the line.
3-1 to Ripken. Full count now. Orioles have struck out. And Plunk has another 2-strike count. And he got a piece of it into the upper deck. Still 3-2. Palmeiro has struck out 3 times. Always with somebody at second base. Bonilla has struck out 3 times. Hoyles has struck out 3 times. Incaviglia twice. Ripken twice. Brady Addison struck out in the 7th inning. And Cal actually hit one into play. But it's out number 2. Now another update from the ballpark in Arlington. Here's Gary.
John, the Rangers on the ropes In the top of the 7th, Mariano Duncan, Jeff Russell just came in, got him on the curveball with the bases loaded. Texas escaped by allowing just the 1 run. Now they're batting Juan Gonzalez.
All right, Gary, but I would imagine that Mariano Rivera is coming in now. It's the 7th inning. They got the lead.
Bad news for hitters all around. On a tough day, you have to give credit where credit's due, and Charles Nagy was unbelievable today.
Here's Eddie Murray. 1 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1.
Bobby Bonilla probably saying, hey, that was the same pitch you called a strike on me. Down the middle, Larry Young said it must have been low.
Also, you have to give David Wells credit. He's battled all day, and his team's still only losing by 1 run, giving his team a chance to win.
1-1 to Murray, a foul tip into Alomar's glove. The only Oriole of the 9 Oriole hitters who has not struck out even once is Todd Zeile. Murray has gone down once. There's Zeile. He's had 2 hits. 1-2 to Murray. Murray wants him to take a look at that ball.
Yeah, see if there's any vapor trails on it.
Well, Larry Young is going to throw the ball out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Murray.
Gary Plunk said he didn't like that one.
Cleveland bullpen, all of them throw hard, guys. Everybody they run in here throws really hard.
Another strikeout. That makes 17. The Orioles will have only 1 more shot at it. Seitzer and then Albert Bell coming up. 3-2 Cleveland. 3-2 Cleveland, last of the 8th. As we return to Jacobs Field, a new pitcher is on for Baltimore. Jerry Matthews, a right-hander, picked up from the Florida Marlins in August. It will be Seitzer, Bell, and Franco for Cleveland. And a foul ball out of play. The paid crowd today, 44,280. That is the record crowd for Jacobs Field. Seitzer today has struck out, flying deep to right center, and hit into a force play. One. Albert Bell on deck. Right now, the Cleveland Indians trying to force the Orioles to play tomorrow night, which they will if they can win this ball game. What an extraordinary pitching display by this Cleveland staff, and a guy who gets a lot of strikeouts under any conditions is now warming up in the Cleveland bullpen. The Cleveland closer, Jose Mesa, is getting ready to come in now for the 9th inning. 17 strikeouts by the Cleveland pitching staff. That ball is out of play. That equals a Major League postseason record, which Dave Campbell had mentioned earlier. Bob Gibson, 1968, with 17 strikeouts against the Detroit Tigers.
John, we go back to that 5th inning. Mike Hargrove told Kenny Lofton to get the runner over. We talked about the fact you're playing for 1 run. A lot of times you do in postseason anyway, but with that shadow coming, the Cleveland Indian pitchers have struck out the last 9 outs. 8 of them have been strikeouts.
And it's 3-2 to Seitzer. David Wells in his 8 innings gave up 3 runs and 7 hits, but oddly enough, only 3 strikeouts and none after the shadows became part of the action. And Matthews immediately becomes part of the strikeout parade here. Now Albert Bell. Bird has been held without a hit today. He walked intentionally, lined out to center, and flied out to shallow center. 0 for 2. Franco right behind him on deck. One ball to no strikes. Albert yesterday was in the 7th inning where the game was tied. Still kind of hard to believe that he got that pitch up in that area and was able to launch it against Benitez. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. A grand slam. On the right field line and back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Albert Bell.
Albert threw some tremendous top hand on that ball yesterday.
He's probably the only guy in the league that could have done it.
It is 2-1 now to Bell. Again, if there's a game 5, it will be tomorrow night here at Jacobs Field. A 7:30 start is the plan. And, of course, all of the other series could actually end today. The Yankees are trying to win their series, leading 5-4 in Texas. 3-1 to Albert Bell. The Braves could end their series. They're just starting in Atlanta against the Dodgers. And the Cardinals could wrap up their series in San Diego later tonight.
Well, we're going to try to steer right through that shadow and look for a piece of high gas from Terry Matthews.
High in the air down the right field line. Bonilla, a long run. Battling the sun. Makes the catch. Pretty nice play there by Bobby.
It's a pretty tough play, man.
Two down and Julio Franco coming up. Here's the schedule now. Tomorrow, if all of the games are played, the Dodgers and Braves will be seen here on ESPN at 1. The Yankees and Rangers on ESPN at 4 if the Rangers can come back. The Orioles and Indians tomorrow night at 7:30. That would be on Fox. And the Cardinals Padres, if the Padres can win tonight, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on ESPN. I kind of like to see all those games played, wouldn't you? I mean, that's what it's all about. Let's see them all go 5. That's the drama. That's the excitement. I mean, what are the odds that you have 4 different series and they would all go 5?
I think the odds are less right now in Texas with Mariano Rivera in there, but you never know in this game.
So the Yankees got to postseason. And Rivera and Wetland with the lead in the late innings.
They won 107 straight before the Red Sox. Mo Vaughn tied a game last week of the season. But that's usually money in the bank when you have a lead going into the 8th with that duo.
I think this situation is exactly what Baltimore didn't want, is to hopefully get to a game 5.
They came to Cleveland leading 2-0, needing 1 win out of 3. And the Cleveland Indians are on the verge of sending it to that 5th game. That's it deep into right. Bonilla going back, twists around. What a catch. Slamming into the wall. I don't know if he's all right or not. I can't believe he caught that ball, Kirby.
That was a great play by Bobby. He turned one way, and then turned the other way, and then crashed into the wall.
When he had to spin around, I thought it was over his head. And of course, Mesa, under the best of conditions, usually gets a few strikeouts. The Cleveland bullpen has done quite a job in these 2 games here in Cleveland. As you see Mesa's numbers, not quite a strikeout per inning this year. Today, the Cleveland bullpen has pitched 2 innings and recorded 5 strikeouts, allowing just 1 hit. Mesa is the 5th reliever utilized by Hargrove out of his bullpen, which he did also here last night. The same 5 used again today in the same order that he used them last night. And last night, they were just as effective. Mesa finished up the ball game last night And the only man who got on base against him is now on deck, B.J. Surhoff, who got an infield hit last night, although he pulled a hamstring in doing it. Pete Incaviglia to lead it off. Incaviglia has singled to center. And of course, twice he has struck out. It looked like he took his shot at trying to tie it.
Well, I don't think you can really see right now as a hitter, and some of that high gas up there is tough to catch up to. Coming from Mesa.
Strike two. The Indians are guarding the foul lines again. Kent at third base and Franco at first base.
Well, if you don't have a great defense, I guess the Indian pitchers decided the best way to handle it is strike everybody out.
The ultimate solution. They have just struck everybody out. That's the way it's worked. And there is number 18. Never in a postseason game have there been as many strikeouts. 18.
Jose Mesa just playing good old country hardball right there. Didn't mess around. 2 Yankee, 3 fastballs in a row. They know that it's tough to hit right now as a hitter. I think the pitchers can kind of sense that. They just ran back right now, just throwing fastballs.
Now B.J. Surhoff, who has hit 3 home runs in this series, pinch hitting for Hoyles. Ball 1.
John, I think Mike Hargrove has managed a brilliant game. He made 2 trips to the mound, once after Nagy gave up the 2 home runs. The other time after Nagy messed up that rundown to settle down his pitcher. He played for the 1 run in the 5th. He's had the great matchups. But as we often say, you're only as brilliant as your bullpen. Right now, he's looking real good.
Well, the bullpen got roughed up in Baltimore in those first 2 games, but here at the Jake, it's been a different story. 18 strikeouts out of the 25 outs recorded by Cleveland pitchers today. That might have been ball 3 there.
Well, fastball was low. BJ looked like his leg was bothering him on that swing. You really can't tell or not, but he was hitting on his front foot. He's not really a front foot hitter. He stays back pretty good.
Off the foot.
Bad knee, bad hamstring, and now bad foot for B.J. Surhoff.
That's not what he needed there. Brady Anderson on deck. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Base hit. B.J. Surhoff with a single right through the middle. And now Manny Alexander will come out of the Baltimore dugout. And he will be the runner for Surhoff. So great job by Surhoff under such tough conditions especially.
Well, BJ's a gamer, man. He's been hurt a lot in his career, and I think he understands injuries. And was no secret what Mason was going to throw right there. He threw a fastball, and he just did what you're supposed to do as a hitter. Just try to hit it right back up the middle.
Mesa guy you can run on, Kirby?
Not without him. It's kind of tough to say. I don't know. He's kind of slow to the plate sometimes, and sometimes he's not.
Manny Alexander is the possible tying run.
Franco wants to know if they want him to hold the runner on or play behind. I think you have to hold the runner here.
Yeah, you have to. You're not going to give him a free base.
Anderson today 0 for 3 with a walk. He's also reached on a Vizcaíno error. 3-2. The Indians on top, 9th inning. Coming on, Lofton can't hold it. Alexander, who had to hold on to make sure that it was not caught, stops at second base. And now we see those shadows maybe working against the Indians on that play.
There again, the second time for Kenny. I mean, when that ball was hit, even me up here in the booth, I thought it was hit harder than that. And he broke back first, and all of a sudden he tried to come in and get it. And he did what you're supposed to do. The ball's dying. He realizes right now he has to dive and get it, and it hits off the heel of his glove. Those shadows are real tough for an outfielder just at this point.
Well, remember back in the 7th inning with Todd Zeal at second, Davy Johnson did not run for him. Zeal's the only man who has not struck out today, and he gets a chance to do something big for the Orioles here.
He was the Phillies' cleanup hitter, their top RBI man, until he was traded to the Orioles and had 99 RBIs all told for the year. Today he's had a single and a double in 4 trips. A base hit could tie the game. How many times have we seen that today? 18 strikeouts for Cleveland pitching, 2 walks. Alexander, nobody was covering at second base.
Hargrove and Davy Johnson outwardly look calm, but the insides are churning.
After Zeal, Roberto Alomar. The Orioles hoping that somebody can come through with a clutch hit. Popped up. It's playable. Franco out, number 2. The Orioles have not had a hit all day long with a man at second base. And that leaves it to Roberto Alomar. The Orioles are 0 for 8 in those at-bats. Of course, Cleveland has struggled in those spots as well. But it was Sandy Alomar who broke through today with a clutch 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run single in the 4th that helped turn the game around. And now his kid brother Roberto is the Orioles' last hope in this game. Roberto Alomar today 1 for 4. He's had an infield single. Alexander the possible tying run at second base. Brady Anderson the runner at first. Just off the outside. And Mesa really wanted that call.
They're just so used to getting strikes called today.
Charles Nagy. Yeah. Charles Nagy. He was the man who gave the Indians the lift they needed. That's a pop foul out of play. 1-1 to Alomar. Ripken and Zeal. Ali Bonilla apparently okay after crashing into the wall there in the 8th inning. Another pop foul out of play. 1-2 now. Mesa ready. And here it is. Left center field, base hit. This ball game is tied up. Unbelievable.
Big time players show up at big times, and of course that was a big time with 2 outs. Roberto Alomar been held down the whole time. Just trying to put the ball in play right there. A nice base hit. The game's tied now.
And so the Alomar family coming through big time in the clutch today. Sandy for Cleveland tying it with 2 down and 2 strikes in the 4th, and now Roberto in the same spot under a little more duress, in fact, 9th inning, and he is tied it.
Well, this time Mark Wiley's going to come out and try to calm down Mesa. You know, this has been a situation where Mark Hargrove has managed so well and set up everything so well, but now all of a sudden if we get into an extra inning game, he has to go to some of his second line pitching.
Bullpen looks a little thin if we go extra inning. Yeah, there it is. Manny Alexander scoring without a play, and the Orioles, as you can imagine, got a little bit excited. So Roberto Alomar has kept them alive, and now Rafael Palmeiro, who has been so frustrated today, with 3 strikeouts with men in scoring position. Gets another shot. High in the air to left. No problem for Albert Bell. And we are going to the last half of the 9th inning. And it is tied. Manny Ramirez, the powerful right-handed swinger, will start him off. Back at Jacobs Field, and nothing has been settled. The Orioles almost stepping out of the grave there with 2 down and 2 strikes in a day when they have almost been unable to make contact at times. And Roberto Alomar gets the 2-out 2-strike hit to tie it up.
John, sometimes it's, if we take a look at Mark Parent, the new catcher, sometimes with the shadows and a guy throwing 94 or 95, it's a lot easier to lay your bat down on a low fastball than it is to try to get up in the high one. And Alomar did a great job of protecting the plate there, put it to play, and found the hole.
So now, Alomar can only hope that he will have helped send this game to extra innings. And Terry Matthews takes the mound to try and shut down the Indians. And here's a guy who can end it with 1 swing of his bat. Manny Ramirez, who's hit 2 home runs already in this series and has hit 2 doubles today, is the first man up.
Well, you see Jeff Kent standing on deck. And we just wonder now if it's going to come into play with Tomey really does have a bad wrist. If Kent comes up against a right-hander, I think we'd know at that point.
That's in there for a strike. It feels like we know it already, the fact that Tomey wasn't in there, but if he doesn't come up to pinch hit, it would indeed say it all.
Well, they could be sending Kent up to bunt if Ramirez gets on, but if Ramirez makes out, then we'll find out.
1 ball, 1 strike now to Ramirez. I mean, how about not using Tomey as a defensive replacement? He's your best third baseman, right?
They haven't had to play much defense. There's been a lot of strikeouts. They haven't had to get many balls. So.
It's a high foul out of play. Out into the sunshine off to the right, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, a lot of players have come up huge, as always, in a series like this. And Robbie Alomar had the big hit, but B.J. Suroff, who's had a brilliant series, bad leg and all, bad legs and all, comes in and gets a key pinch hit to ignite the inning.
Alexander, who scored the tying run, was the runner for Suroff. Yanks are leading Texas. That game in the 9th inning now in Texas. Yanks trying to wrap that series up. The Braves trying to wrap their series up against the Dodgers in Atlanta today. And the Braves have jumped ahead of Nomo. 1-0 at the end of 1 in Atlanta. Back of Tom Glavine. Well, Mike Hargrove, for 2 days here in Cleveland, everything he tried worked beautifully. But finally, Jose Mesa unable to hold the lead in the 9th inning. The Indians trying to become another one of those teams to make the big comeback in a 5-game series. It's happened a few times. Full count now to Ramirez. Now the Orioles, Matthews is the only relief pitcher Davey Johnson has used today.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about Wells. Give his team a chance to stay in the ball game. He battled and he battled, but kept his team close, and they ended up tying it up so far.
3-2 the count. And a walk. And a pinch runner will go in immediately. Or will he?
Right now,
Jeff Kent is due up, and he's over to talk to the third base coach, and no runner going in for Ramirez. Jesse Orozco in the bullpen. To Tomey, then Davey would go to Orozco.
well, one thing about Manny Ramirez, he is a brilliant young player. But over the course of the last couple of years, he's made a lot of base running mistakes. Got picked off in the 8th inning of the World Series last year. Trotted into a sacrifice fly this year when another man was tagged up. The run didn't count because the guy was thrown out at base. He's not a good instinctive base runner.
Jeff Kent 0 for 3 today. That's a foul. Mark Parent, the Orioles catcher, springing out to go after it had it been fair. Ramirez will go back to first.
A lot of tough jobs in baseball. I've always felt the toughest one was going in for defense late. Parent came in yesterday, had a chance to throw out Kenny Lofton, short hop to throw down to Cal Ripken. And that was a big play in that game.
Kenny Lofton, he's been kept off the base paths entirely today. He's had a tough time of it in the elements out there in center field.
The 2 balls he normally would catch, he didn't get today.
In fact, not only did Surhoff have that big pinch hit single to get the rally started, Anderson's ball after that was a ball probably Lofton normally catches, as you mentioned.
You don't see a ball hit Kenny in the heel of the glove when he gets to it very often like Brady's did.
E.J. Surhoff. He's all banged up, but he got the big hit. 1-1 now to Kent.
John, I also think back, Bobby Bonilla making a good running catch over near the line on Albert Bell, and then a terrific catch to end the 8th inning. So Bonilla has come up big defensively, not generally something he specializes in.
He caught that ball crashing into the wall. I started looking all over for the ball. I couldn't believe he caught it.
It's a great play. He turned one way, then turned the other way. He got his glove up there, all with the sun in his eyes.
Now he gets the bunt down. Matthews wanted to throw to second, too late there. Alomar takes the throw at first, and Kent has moved the runner over. Meanwhile, we've got an update from Atlanta. Here's Gary Miller.
John Hideo Nomo struck out the first 2 Braves he faced. Then Carlos made an error to put Chipper Jones on, and Fred McGriff made him pay with a run-scoring double. The Dodgers had a lead run thrown out at the plate in a rundown play in their half of the first. Now they're trying again against Tom Glavine. It's 1-0 Braves. Back to you.
Thanks, Gary. Meanwhile, the Yankees are making more trouble in Texas. Even more now. Looks like the Yankees will be heading into the American League Championship Series. Here's Pat Dobson to the mound now to talk to Matthews, with Sandy Alomar coming up and the switch-hitting Vizcaíno behind him. We understand that in Texas, more, as we say, going on, and Gary Miller has another update in that one.
Mike Stanton and Bernie Williams, who is having an outstanding series, take the curveball and hits it to the back of the bleachers. A 1-run game is now a 2-run lead for the Yanks. They're still batting in the 9th with Wetland warming up. Back to you.
Bernie's doing his Juan Gonzalez impression there.
Bernie's had a great year, man. He's done a lot of things for the Yankees, and they're advancing to the next level. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's one guy you definitely don't want batting right-handed. But he did, and he crushed it.
Sandy Alomar, he had a huge hit for Cleveland back in the 4th inning against Wells. And the Alomar brothers, his brothers will do, competing here. Alomar, as Sandy told me, back in late September, ran into him in Chicago. He said, we're here to clinch the division and then go to the postseason when I'm going to kick little Roberto's behind, he said. Although he didn't put it quite that way. 2-0 the count to Sandy.
Well, so far they haven't given in. Dobson's talk, you would assume, is make him hit a tough pitch in this situation. You get Jose Vizcaíno, a switch hitter on deck. Choices for Hargrove. He's still got a full complement on the bench. Brian Giles. And of course, if they go to Giles, you'd figure you would see Orozco. Brian Giles has been a terrific hitter this year. He's 13 for 20 against the Orioles.
3-2 was the lead for Cleveland coming to the 9th. Now it is 3-3 in the last of the 9th. The possible winning run. Ramirez at second base. 1 out. Popped up. Behind the mound, Zeal comes over. They're all there! It's in! Unbelievable.
I got it. You take it. Everybody was looking at each other. Zeal's the guy that looked like he was going to take charge, but at the last second he looked up. Mistakes will kill you.
Davy Johnson coming out.
Well, in that situation, Matthews, he's the pitcher. He's got to be the general out there. All the guys are calling. They can't hear each other. He's got to be the one to say, Rafi's got it, or Todd, somebody's got it. He didn't say anything. That was a great try by Alomar to try to dive and get it. But right there, Matthews has to make the call as to who has the ball.
Robbie almost slid in and got it, and we will have a pitching change. Reminds me of Billy Martin making that great catch on Jackie Robinson in the World Series.
Butchering what would figure to be a routine play.
Well, in the 1952 World Series, everybody was looking at Billy Martin flash in to make a great catch. This time, there were too many guys trying to make the catch, and Davy just can't believe it. Zeal was calling, Palmeiro was calling, Robbie was in the area, Terry Matthews was wondering if he should go after it, and the Indians go, wow. But when there's this much noise in the stadium, you cannot hear somebody calling for the ball.
Alomar over talking to Ripken at shortstop as Jose Vizcaíno stands in. Well, last night the game turned around when Jesse Orozco came in and he couldn't throw a strike. And ultimately, he couldn't throw a strike to a man who was up there trying to make an out. Now in this ball game, Terry Matthews in the ninth inning issues a leadoff walk, and then a pop fly that should have been an easy play. Nobody catches it, and we'll see if it ultimately cost them the game again. Here's the possible winning run. Ramirez at second base. Alomar over at first after reaching in the error. They charge it to Palmeiro, and the slider, a called strike.
Well, the Indians played horrible defense in the fifth inning. A bobble by Vizcaíno, a bobble by the third baseman Kent, and then a botched rundown by Charles Nagy. And they got out of that one. So I think Davy Johnson probably hoping maybe something good will happen for him after the Orioles play a little bit of giveaway with a walk and an error.
Field line. If it's fair, the game's over. Foul ball. And it is 0-2. And Kirby, I mean, this guy's going to make you worry if you're Davy Johnson, because he usually makes contact, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty good hitter, but I think Jesse's going to do 2 breaking balls in a row now. I got to believe he's going to try another breaking ball or maybe a high fastball.
Well, Davy Johnson knows Jesse Orozco has been a great pro. He doesn't scare. Jesse just said he couldn't get the feel of the baseball yesterday because it was so cold. But he comes in and throws strike 1 and strike 2 here.
Jimmy Lofton is on deck. And Orozco also said, hey, don't blame Armando Benitez for that grand slam yesterday. He was trying to bail me out. I'm the one who was terrible. There's that slider, and Vizcaíno gets a piece of it to stay alive. 0-2 the count to Vizcaíno. Jesse Orozco has not been strong in this series. He's been in 3 games and given up 4 runs and in 1 and a third innings.
Prior to that this year, Indian hitters were 1 for 19 against Jesse, but in the series, he has struggled.
So Alan Mills apparently not available again today, because I think for sure we would have seen him either in the 8th or especially here in the 9th. It's slowly. Zeal juggles it, regains control, and got him at first. The runners have been moved over, and now Lofton against Orozco, and Orozco's been his nemesis.
Well, you got such pressure right here because with the runners moving up, I mean, you got to worry about the bunt. If you walk Lofton, you can't really do that because he's a left-handed batter. Vizquel on deck, switch hitter. A lot of pressure on not only Jesse Orozco, but on the defense right here.
Lofton has been kept off the bases today. He's hit a comebacker. Been thrown out on a bunt attempt by Zeal. Had the sacrifice bunt. And he is flying to center. 0 for 3.
Pressure on the catcher. You know they're going to go sliders to Kenny Lofton. You got to block a pitch in the dirt. Mark Parent, a veteran, knows he can't just put down the one finger and throw fastballs.
Zeal very shallow at third, knowing that even with 2 down, Lofton might drop down a bunt. He swung at it. That's the ruling by Young. It is 0-1. He chased that first slider.
As you can see there, Kenny has another left-handed pitcher, Wells, and then Orozco. Hasn't been having good swings all day.
When the two faced each other earlier in the series, 5 straight sliders from Orozco to get the strikeout.
He laid off this one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lofton. Albert Bell. Albert also held hitless today. And the only time he came up with a chance to really do some damage, they walked him intentionally. Check swing on the slider. 2-1 now.
Tough pitch to lay off there.
Oh, I think what Kenny's got to do right now, he's not struggling a little bit. He's going to try to make Jesse get the ball up in the zone, and Jesse's going to try to keep that slider down and away from him.
And I don't think Orozco has to give in anywhere in this pitch sequence. He does have an open base.
They have just made Incaviglia back up in left field. Strike 2 call.
It's a nasty slider from Orozco. You see Kenny flinch right there. Going to number sliders. It's tough for him to hang in there against these lefties. As a hitter, once you see the slider from Jesse right there, once Kenny flinches, he has no chance to hit it.
The winning run over third base, 2 down. 2-2. Here's the pitch. And he was able to get a piece of it and fouling it out of play. Lofton stays alive with a 2-2 count. Omar Vizquel, a switch hitter, is on deck. Armando Benitez. He has begun warming up in the Orioles bullpen. The Indians need to win to stay alive in this series. Orozco tries it again. Struck him out, and we are going into the 10th inning.
Fastball inside.
Bobby Bonilla, Cal Ripken, and Eddie Murray coming up. Orozco getting the job done for the Orioles situation, and they've been unable to do it, even though they had a 1-run lead going to the 9th.
John, on the first 2-2 pitch to Kenny Lofton, look how he goes out and gets that slider. And Mark Parent and I think Orozco recognize that. And after 10 straight sliders over 2 at-bats, gas in. Froze him, Kirby.
Oh, that pitch right there. Jesse threw it in a place where Kenny couldn't do anything. Even if he swung, he couldn't do anything with it. And that's a tough pitch for Kenny to lay off of. I think he was shocked he got a fastball. But Parent recognized it, like you say, and him and Jesse figured it out and threw it in a great spot.
Jesse Orozco, who yesterday walked everybody he faced, today came in through 10 pitches, 8 of them strikes, and retired Vizcaíno and then finally Lofton. Now Bobby Bonilla against Jose Mesa. Ball 1. Bonilla homered in the 2nd inning and has struck out 3 times on called third strikes since then. He also has made the play of the day defensively in right field. That's high and fouled on the right field line.
I don't know if Manny Trillo was the first guy to ever say it. He said one of the greatest things about baseball is you can do something today about yesterday. And Jesse Orozco turned it around.
Eddie Murray due up 3rd in the inning. Check swing and a foul. And the count now is 1-2 to Bonilla. Jose Mesa came out in the 9th inning, gave up 3 singles. None of them particularly hard hit.
Got the job done.
Roberto Alomar's bloop single drove in the tying run. And Bonilla is gone. The 19th strikeout of the day for Cleveland.
Just good old country hard ball right there. Fastball inside. Bobby couldn't catch up to it.
Now Cal Ripken. Cal has struck out twice while going 0 for 4. A strike. Ripken against his former teammate, Jose Mesa. Mesa came to the Orioles from the Toronto Blue Jays in a trade that sent Mike Flanagan to Toronto for a pennant race run. It is 0-2.
Jose Mesa last year was just about automatic, 46 out of 48 saves. He has struggled at times this year and gave up those 3 hits in the top of the ninth.
He went into a slump in midsummer where they actually removed him from the closer's role for a while. That's a foul ball. 0-2 to Ripken.
I think what you have to understand is, though, is once after you have a great season, then other teams make adjustments when the next time that they face you the next year. And I think that's what happened this year to Jose, and he still had great success, but not as much.
And also, I mean, part of the problem, he was throwing the ball well, but they felt his confidence was at such a low ebb. And a foul ball out of play.
But there's been a lot of guys, well, not a lot, but there's certainly been many players who have had 1 or 2 great seasons coming out of the bullpen. But when you look at Dennis Eckersley and the run he had in Oakland over about a 6-year period, and Gossage and Fingers and Lee Smith and those guys, how they were able to do it over their career and make the adjustments. Those guys have been special.
0-2 to Cal Ripken. 1 out, nobody on, 10th inning. Shallow right field. That's going to fall. Base hit. Ripken thought about taking off his second, but then when Ramirez came up with it, he stopped.
I wonder who was deking who here. Cal took a big turn. Ramirez was kind of going after it slowly, but Manny leads the American League in assists. He's got a great arm, and I think Cal all of a sudden went, I don't think so.
Well, Cal right here just sticks the bat out, just drops it right in there. I think that if Manny would have went over there lackadaisical and maybe bobbled it just for 1 second, Cal would have ended up on second base.
Cal's thinking about it right here, and all of a sudden he goes, I don't think so.
Eddie Murray, the hitter. Murray 1 for 3 with a walk. And it's too low, ball 1, facing his old teammate Mesa, with whom he went to a World Series last year. In the 10th inning, a 3-3 ball game. The Orioles have 11 hits now. Cleveland has 7. It's ball 2 to Murray. Now, Albert Bell will come to bat in the last half of this inning. There's Cal, Seitzer, and then Albert Bell are the 3 hitters due up for Cleveland. And again, we cannot see into the Baltimore bullpen, but I would imagine that they'll have somebody else ready, other than the left-hander Orozco at some point. 3-0 to Murray. The right-hander batting in Cavilla is on deck.
Well, for Kenny Lofton today, I mean, he was such a star yesterday, and this afternoon, 2 balls he feels he probably should have caught. 0 for 4 at the plate, a big strikeout in the bottom of the ninth. Tough being out there right now.
Murray taking all the way. Mesa pours a fastball in there. 96 miles an hour for a strike. 3-1.
It's one of those things, if the Orioles go on and win this game, that's something, no matter how great a season Lofton has had, it's going to weigh in his mind all winter.
Ripken at first, 1 out. Strike 2 call.
Okay, decision time. 1 out. 19 guys who struck out today. Ripken doesn't have much speed. I don't know, Davey. I don't think I'd send him.
Don't ask me, because you know what I'd say. I've been wrong all day. But I'd still say send them anyway.
Yeah. Well, if you're you're a riverboat gambler, you send him.
He is not running. Base hit. Why wasn't he running, Kirby? Ripken, look out. He is out. Ramirez threw behind him. Wow, what a throw.
Well, Manny Ramirez gets the last laugh. If Ripken's going, he makes third easily. He took a wide turn, and that's a play they work on. That's a planned play where the shortstop comes to the cutoff spot and then runs back towards second base, and Ramirez led him perfectly.
Omar Vizquel taking the throw right alongside Ripken. No chance to get back. Man, that's huge.
Well, you guys asked me what I thought. I was right that time. See?
If he'd been running,
would have been on
he's
third
over
easy.
there. Yeah.
But that's why I'm not a manager. As a whole, if he'd have been going.
Watch Cal look at Vizquel, and now Omar heads right back, and Ramirez leads him perfectly. Ripken never gets near the base.
In Cavilla, 0-1. Well, the Orioles seemed intent on not winning this ball game. Dropping pop flies, men getting caught rounding the bases here. This is no way to beat the Cleveland Indians in their home ballpark.
Well, we've talked about it the whole series.
All right, Chris, and here it is not yet decided. It is 3-3. The Orioles and the Indians in the 10th inning. We welcome our viewers on ESPN who've been watching the Yankees-Rangers game. 2 down, Eddie Murray at first in Cavilla, the hitter against Jose Mesa. A ball game that Cleveland had led 3-2 into the 9th inning, only to see Mesa come on and give up 3 singles. Roberto Alomar with 2 down and 2 strikes, singling home the tying run, and now we're into the 10th. Just moments ago, after Cal Ripken hit a single, Murray hit a single to right field, and Ripken got caught coming around second on a strong throw by Manny Ramirez to Vizquel. Ripken got tagged out before he could get back to second base. 2 down now with Murray at first.
More close games won or lost by good or bad base running than any single factor.
The 20th strikeout of the day by Cleveland pitching. 20 strikeouts in 10 innings, and Incavilla has gone 4 times in a row. Again, we have been joined by the audience on ESPN, which have been watching the Yankees-Ranger ball game. And the Yankees won that ball game 6-4 despite falling behind 4-0 early. And the Yankees are into the American League Championship Series against the winner of this series.
I think Vizquel tries to beat out a bunt here. They may test Zeal or Palmeiro. Raffy playing with a bad ankle down at first base. And Zeal, he's in tight.
Vizquel has been on base 3 times today. He's walked once, singled home run, and singled again. He's stolen a base and been thrown out attempting to steal.
Just move Zeal about 1 step closer to the line.
And a foul tip, strike 1.
Omar squared the bunt, and then we're going to try to take the bat back and whack it past Zeal.
He waited too late to do that. The ball already passed him already.
Again, Alan Mills, the Oriole right-hander, the veteran right-hander, with the groin muscle injury, and obviously unavailable because they would have used him in this game. And if he were still available here, he would have been the man they would have called upon in this spot. The young Benitez coming in instead. Benitez, the 4th Baltimore pitcher of the day. Mike Hargrove has used 6 pitchers out of his bullpen. And a foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vizquel.
Remember yesterday with Albert Bell at the plate, 3 times Benitez shook off breaking balls called from the bench. I don't know if he'll be shaking anybody off today.
2-2.
Mark Parent, a veteran catcher, he pointed to his left shoulder, and that means to Benitez, keep your shoulder in, you're opening up, and that gets you up in the zone.
Kevin Seitzer and Albert Bell both out of the dugout there. Seitzer due up next, and then Bell. A slider that time, and Vizquel still up there with a 2-2 count. 3 runs, 12 hits for the Orioles with 1 error. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Indians with 1 error. The Orioles have left 11 men on base, and they've only had the 1 hit today by Alomar with men in scoring position. 3-2.
Orioles got away with a leadoff walk in the ninth, plus an error, but you better not tempt fate too often, walking leadoff men 2 innings in a row.
He struck him out. Well, yesterday Benitez came on with the bases loaded and Albert Bell at the plate in the 7th inning of a tie game. And here's the whole sequence. He was throwing the hard stuff, Kirby.
Well, Albert Bell will kill you if you sit up there and throw fastballs all day and let him get his timing down. He'll kill you.
And that last one, 94 miles an hour. A grand slam into the bleachers in left. And a moment that will live in the annals of Cleveland Indians baseball for a long time to come.
Yeah, Benitez threw at 94 and Albert hit it about 122.
Well, I kind of like what Jesse Orozco said about it all, and that was don't blame it on him. It was my fault.
Orozco had loaded the bases with 3 walks yesterday, and then Benitez came on. Seitzer 0 for 4. 2-0. Albert Bell on deck. The crowd, this is the most quiet that this crowd has been in 2 days here.
Seitzer, of course, wears that face guard in front as he was hit twice in the face last year over the last 2 years, suffering broken jaws and cheekbones, so he's got that extra protection up front.
I wish he'd have told me to wear one. I'd still be playing.
No, against Dennis Martinez last year.
Foul ball out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now we've seen some hard throwers coming out of both of these bullpens for a couple of days, haven't we?
Nobody's running up in the batter's box. They're digging a line in the sand real deep in that batter's box.
Embry, Shuey, Plunk, Mesa, all out of the Cleveland bullpen, all hard throwers. Benitez out of that Baltimore bullpen.
Mix in a couple of crafty guys like Assenmacher and Jesse Orozco, just to keep everybody honest.
Benitez only occasionally seems to know where that ball's going today.
Now again, the front shoulder is a key, and Mark Curran points to it again. When you get excited out there, you have the adrenaline. If you keep your front shoulder in, you're going to be able to get the ball in the zone a little better.
Benitez, round 3. Benitez walked Bell Wednesday in Baltimore in a tight spot. Bell got him for the grand slam here last night. And of course that was a game-winning hit, but in the 7th inning. And now Albert could win it very suddenly with a home run in this spot. Pat Dobson out to talk to Armando Benitez. Palmeiro also over to speak Spanish with him. Palmeiro, one of the sort of the go-betweens in the Orioles clubhouse with the Spanish-speaking players and the rest.
Now, one of the things Pat worked with Benitez this spring was trying to refine his delivery and get him to have more confidence in his breaking ball. He's always had the explosive fastball, but control problems and the lack of a consistent breaking ball have hurt him. It's almost like a fight, John. Benitez is bouncing around in this corner.
Wait for that bell to ring.
Well, he's got his hands full again, man, here.
That bell's ringing right now at home plate.
Albert Bell. The only hit he's ever had against Benitez was the grand slam yesterday. Albert is hitless today. Walked intentionally in the first, lined to center in the fourth, flying to shallow center in the fifth, and flying to right field in the eighth. Bonilla made a nice play on the run along the foul line on that one. So here we go. And he threw the off-speed pitch. It's 0-1. The one he would not throw yesterday.
Only once, shame on me.
Pretty good breaking ball right there, too. You don't see Albert flinch too much. Albert flinched right away. There's no way Albert can hit that ball after he flinched.
And he came back with that fastball, and Albert fouled it back 96 miles per hour in the bullpen. A couple of hard throwers warming up. And there's Alan Mills, the veteran right-hander, and the left-hander, Arthur Rhodes.
3 at-bats now for Benitez and Albert Bell, and Benitez has had him 0-2 all 3 at-bats. First time walked him, and we all know what happened yesterday.
He struck him out, and again he went back to something other than the fastball. That looked like almost like a changeup, didn't it?
That's what it looked like to me. I mean, Albert swung right through it. Didn't look like a fastball. There he is right there coming through. Guess it was just a good old-fashioned, look like fastball.
Well, the other thing, they tell me that Benitez has been working on a splitter, but I don't know. It didn't appear to be, 90 plus on the radar gun, but Albert drew air.
85 on the radar gun.
It might have been the splitter.
Gun.
It might have been just took a little bit off and had Albert off front.
The batting practice fastball. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if I throw one 0-2. I don't think so.
Whatever it wasn't as fast as the other ones, and it worked. Here's Franco, and it's 0-1.
Some pitchers talk about throwing that batting practice fastball when they're behind 2 and 0 and 3 and 1 because they figure the hitters are geared up for that real hard heat. But I don't think 0-2 when a guy's supposed to be doing a little better protecting. You want to throw it there.
Herb Blotleman was the old master of the BP fastball.
Franco 1 for 3 with a walk, the runner going. Parent throw to second base into center field. Seitzer didn't realize it, and he holds at second base. And Parent is just not throwing the ball well in this series at all.
Now, he rushed that one, and Benitez didn't really pay attention. Kevin only stole 6 bases during the season, but sometimes you got to expect the unusual. Benitez a high leg kick, and Seitzer a big jump.
It was almost just like the throw last night with Lofton running.
Parents he was telling Benitez to keep his shoulder in there. He needs to keep his shoulder in there now when he throws. But I'm sure but Mark is tough coming off the bench. He hasn't played in 2 days.
A pinch run for Seitzer now. Looks like Casey Candell will come in.
He's fast enough to attempt to steal, but not fast enough to score from second. So Seitzer retires for the day. Candell will be running with everything he's got at the crack of the bat with 2 down here in the 10th inning. He is the possible winning run. It is 0-2 to Franco. That is strike 3. So Benitez strikes out the side. The day of the strikeout in Cleveland. We move to the 11th inning. Parent and then Brady Anderson and Zeal coming up. 3-3.
Chipper Jones, and that combo's at it again. Jones has just stolen second base. McGriff up against Nomo. Glavine with a 1-0 lead. We'll continue to keep you posted on that, but more drama from Cleveland now.
Thank you, Gary. Indeed, it is 3-3 now as we move to the 11th inning. And there you see the beautiful look at Jacobs Field from the Goodyear blimp, Stars and Stripes. The Goodyear blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. Crystal clear day here in Cleveland. The lights are on. The shadows have encompassed most of the field now. And Jose Mesa, who rarely does this, goes into his 3rd inning of work. Mesa, last year in the World Series at Cleveland, game 3, pitched 3 innings in an extra inning ball game and got the Indians their first win in that World Series. Eddie Murray, now his adversary, drove in the winning run against Atlanta that night. And there's a swinging strike one by Mark Parent.
Well, the Orioles probably don't want to hear this because they want to win today, but by scoring that run in the 9th inning, and they're going to stretch Mesa out 3 innings, that could have a huge effect on tomorrow, even if Cleveland wins this ball game.
Strike 2 call on the outside. Parent up for the first time in this game. He'll be followed by the left-handed batting slugger, Brady Anderson, and then Todd Zeile. Here's Anderson. Mesa, we're told, also pitched 3 innings in a ball game this past July against the Minnesota Twins. The only time this year that he went as many as 3. And makes short work of Parent. 21 strikeouts for Cleveland pitching. More baseball coming up later tonight in these division series. The Dodgers and Braves, of course, playing right now in Atlanta on Fox. The Cardinals and Padres tonight at 7:30 in San Diego. Must win for the Padres. That'll be 7:30 on NBC. Tomorrow, if the Dodgers win, game 4 with the Braves, 1 o'clock right here on ESPN. The Orioles and Indians, if the Indians win, 7:30 on Fox tomorrow. And if the Padres win tonight, as Brady Anderson takes ball 1, we'll have game 4 of the Padres Cardinals series right here on ESPN at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Brady Anderson, 1 hit, 1 walk, and he's reached an error. He's been on base 3 times. Center field, often started back, now moves to his left a bit. 2 down. Hershiser would pitch here tomorrow for Cleveland if there's a game. And Scott Erickson would oppose him for the Orioles.
Well, both hitters here in the top half of the 11th inning. Mark Parent was opening up, looking for a ball in, and Brady Anderson, same thing. Mesa got it out away from him, so Brady didn't get everything behind that swing.
Todd Zeile, 2 for 5. Single in the 3rd, double in the 7th. Bullpen activity for Cleveland. Pop foul by Zeile, out of play into the upper deck. The Yankees are the first team to have won their series. They did so by beating Texas 6-4 in Arlington today. Well, Mike Hargrove trying to avoid seeing Baltimore celebrate on his field. 3-3 in the 11th. In the bullpen, Chad O.J., the young right-hander, warming up.
Whichever team comes out of this series did not play well against the Yankees this year. The Yankees were 10-3 against Baltimore and 9-3 against Cleveland.
1-2 to Zeile. Manny Ramirez is scheduled to lead it off for Cleveland in the last of the 11th. Strike 3 call. Five strikeouts for Mesa in 3 innings. Ramirez coming up. It is still 3-3 in Cleveland. John Miller, Kirby Puckett, Dave Campbell, 3-3. We go to the last of the 11th from Jacobs Field in Cleveland. Coming up next on ESPN2, we'll have the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It'll be on ESPN2. for those of you watching on ESPN, coming up after the ball game, the Las Vegas Invitational. Although apparently, Kirby and Dave, they didn't invite us. They knew we were busy.
John, you've said strike 3 31 times today.
And I had this feeling I haven't said it quite enough yet. And Armando Benitez, who struck out the side in the 10th inning, facing Manny Ramirez. Another power versus power matchup here. Although he retired Ramirez in a big spot in the ball game Wednesday in Baltimore with the bases loaded. He got Ramirez on a strikeout. There's that off-speed pitch again with which he struck out Albert Bell. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eric Dobson on the phone to the Orioles bullpen.
The Orioles phone is way down at the far end of their dugout. Some of the Baltimore people were complaining about that because they said when it gets noisy they can't hear it ring.
Watch out. Foul ball back to Dave Campbell, and he made the catch right here in the booth.
Hey, you see him knock me over? You see him knock me over.
You're a hitter. I played defense.
Yeah.
Let's see the ball, Dave. Very nice.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You okay?
I'm keeping this one.
You okay?
Is he okay? No, I'm hurt. He tackled me.
I blame myself. I should have been calling for the catch, right?
Yeah, you should have.
Ramirez is down on strikes.
That's the 31st time. I miscalculated.
Well, it'll be pretty easy to lose count.
Slider again from Benitez. So I think after Albert Bell went up and got his best fastball yesterday, I think maybe he decided maybe I got to start using that breaking ball a little bit, as Nigel Wilson is going to come out and hit for Jeff Kent.
And again, apparently Tomey is hurt. He got the wrist problem. Did not start the ball game. And even here, they're not using him. So managers don't like to just go out and publicize that. I mean, they like the teams to think that they might use somebody.
Well, this game isn't over yet. There still might be time, and the situation might be right, and you might have no choice but to use it.
Coming up tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Clemson Tigers versus Florida State. The Seminoles are 3-0, ranked number 2 in the country. Clemson and Florida State tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Well, we're going to see something interesting if we go to the 12th inning. It's going to be a tough decision for Mike Hargrove. He's either got to use Tomey at third or get Candell out of the DH spot, which is going to create an interesting situation with the pitcher. So if we go that far, it could get interesting.
Well, a Sunday night ball game here earlier in the year. Nigel Wilson came off the bench and hit a pinch hit home run. It was his first major league hit. He had 26 at-bats and was hitless. And then on Sunday Night Baseball, he launched one.
Prime time player.
Formerly with the Florida Marlins. Also spent some time in the Cincinnati organization. 2-0 the count. In the Baltimore bullpen, Randy Myers is up, along with Elrod Hendricks out there, the bullpen coach. There will be no save here unless the Orioles can go ahead first, and Davy Johnson may need to save the tie before he needs to try and save a win. One out, nobody on, 11th inning. Benitez has not thrown a strike yet to Nigel Wilson. He didn't give him much of a target up there, Kirby.
Well, he stands right there. I think he's falling behind. That's not a good thing right now.
September the 8th against the Seattle Mariners. Wilson came up and launched one. That looked like a forkball, didn't it?
It looked like something off speed, a little changeup or something.
Well, whatever it is, the same pitch he struck out Albert Bell with.
Maybe it's a BP fastball.
No, you guys talked me out of that one. Yeah. 3-1 the count to Nigel Wilson. Kind of hard to relax down in that Cleveland dugout. And along the third base line, Zeal, nice pickup, long throw, got it. What a play!
Wilson almost had his body to snap in half right there.
He was hustling.
Catcher number 15, Sandy.
I think he was kind of caught in between right here. You see Zeal not guarding the line. That's a great play by Zeal. Backhanded, sets up, makes a strong throw over there. And Wilson's hustling down there. I think what he wanted to do, he wanted to slide, but he got too close to the base.
Lucky he didn't break his ankle.
Very lucky.
But why did he want to slide? Why not just go in right through the bag, running hard?
Trying to get on base any way he can. Gonna get one shot at it, trying to make it look good.
2 down, and Sandy Alomar almost hit by the pitch. And Sandy hit the big hit back in the 4th inning, a 2-run, 2-out single when Cleveland was trailing 2-0. And in the 9th inning, with a man aboard and second base and 1 out, he popped one up, and the Orioles could not catch it. Another pop foul coming back.
Last year it was Tony Pena in game 1 who hit the dramatic home run, and I'll tell you, the Indians right now need somebody to step up big. They're probably going to have to go deeper into their bullpen next inning, and they're going to have some defensive options they're going to have to explore.
On the right field line, Bonilla on the run, but this one is twisting back and in amongst the spectators out there. Roberto Alomar also gave chase. 1-2 the count to Sandy Alomar.
Remembering the all-around utility man infield-wise, Casey Candell came in to run for Kevin Seitzer, so Candell is currently the DH, and they pinch hit for Kent with Nigel Wilson, who's an outfielder. So Jim Thome is it, or they'll have to move Candell in, and then they put the pitcher in the lineup.
Right back to Benitez. So Benitez has given the Orioles 2 shutout innings in this rather important game.
Of a 1-0 lead in the Fred McGriff RBI double in the first. Glavine has a 3-hit shutout. This game could end before ours does, with Nomo going against Glavine. We go back to Cleveland for the next extra inning.
All right, Gary. Extra innings, we've got plenty of them here. It's the 12th inning, game 4, the American League Divisional Series. The Orioles and the Cleveland Indians, the winner of this series, will meet the Yankees next week in the League Championship Series. Jim Thome has come on to play third base for Cleveland, but he did not come on as a pinch hitter in the 11th inning. Here's Roberto Alomar to lead it off in the 9th inning with the Orioles down by a run. B.J. Surhoff got them started with a single, and later with 2 down, Roberto Alomar blooped a single in to bring home the tying run of the game, and it is still tied. That was against Mesa. Alomar, pretty good bunter, and often bunts, and the third baseman Thome very shallow down the line from third. Alomar 2 base hits today in 5 at-bats with a run batted in. That's a called strike.
Yeah, I bet the last time Jose Mesa pitched into his 4th inning was when he was a starter.
And of course, when Cleveland got him from Baltimore, that's what he was. He was a starting pitcher. That one is hit deep into center field. Lofton is going back, still going back, all the way back. Gone, home run. So Alomar, in his next at bat against Mesa, after tying the game in the 9th inning with a single, he has homered in the 12th inning. 4-3 Baltimore.
Guess that last hit he got was a big hit for him. Got his confidence back. Got him going. Got a good fastball right there for Mason to hit. Nice short swing. Brother setting up inside. Nice low pitch. Where left-handers want it.
Now Rafael Palmeiro. And that one is ball 1 down and away. Well, Roberto Alomar last Saturday in Toronto broke a tie ball game in extra innings with a home run against the Blue Jays, and that was how the Orioles won the wild card berth in the first place. Palmeiro swings and fouls it back out of play.
Well, again, for Mike Hargrove and the Indians, they did just about everything right Had 2 outs in the 9th inning with a lead, but Alomar gets the hit to tie it. Right now, Hargrove just felt he didn't have an option. He had to stay with Mesa.
Deep down the left field line by Palmeiro, but this one is slicing back and out of play, foul. 1-2 to Palmeiro, who hit a home run all the way back in the 2nd inning. Struck out 3 times and flied out since then.
The improbable 22 strikeouts by Baltimore hitters today, and yet they have a lead here in the 12th inning.
The most strikeouts ever thrown against the Orioles in their history. Palmeiro swinging wildly to pitch up out of the strike zone. That's 23 strikeouts against him.
A lot of times it's easier to drop the bat head on 95 miles an hour down than it is up. And Robbie got a good piece of it, and everybody wants to take a look.
Alomar got a good look too. Now here's Bobby Bonilla. Since he homered in the 2nd inning, he has struck out 4 straight times.
I've been there.
I've been there. I didn't go 5 because they pinch hit for me.
Well, now, I mean, we all figured David been there. We know his lifetime average. I can't believe you were ever there, Kirby.
Yes, I was. I was there several times.
4 times?
Proud to admit it now that I'm done playing.
Golden sombrero. The golden sombrero.
If I was still playing, I wouldn't be happy to admit that.
Roberto Alomar, maybe the hero of this one, with a dramatic home run here in the 12th inning, and we know Kirby Puckett has definitely been there too. Game 6 of the 1991 series against Atlanta. Now, they told me that you called that home run before you went up and hit it, Kirby.
That's not true. I don't know where you get misinformation, I think.
So I always wanted to ask you about that.
Well, what happened was I was going to bunt against Charlie D. Brand, and Chili Davis was on deck. And Chili said, Puck, he said, bunt. He said, bunt my butt. He said, you go up there, get a good pitch, and hit it out of ballpark. I said, all right. And that's the true story.
So it was Chili Davis who called it?
Yes, Chili Davis called. It wasn't me.
He sort of like managed you. He forced you to hit it.
Yeah, I was going to bunt.
Bobby Bonilla lifts a high pop-up down the left field line. Nobody can get there. Thome, Vizquel, and Bell. Thome got the closest. And it's 3-2 to Bonilla. He's still up there.
Looking ahead to Cleveland's 9th, Vizcaíno, and then back to Lofton and Vizquel. Bell would be the 5th hitter in the bottom of the 12th.
And the Orioles closer, Randy Myers, is now warming up. You may see him in the last of the 12th. Ooh, out into the Orioles dugout. And they may have to count heads.
Wow.
And it looked like it came the closest to David Wells down there. Tony Tarasco, he's not on the postseason roster. Here's a look. Man,
That had eat you all over it. I think it did get Wells.
Wow.
He got hit in his first start. Had to hit a line shot off his ankle, right?
Target practice.
Got me flinching up here now.
Kirby, you got to make a play in that one. That one had a little smoke coming back this way.
Wow.
Well, he doesn't look like he's too badly hurt.
It's like football. They give you a game ball when you have a good outing. Look at David. He had a good outing today. He gets a game ball right in the middle of the stomach.
Yeah, Bonilla decided to give it to him about 140 miles an hour. Yeah. We're with you, David. 3-2 the count. Bonilla fights another one off. Well, the plans of Hargrove, they were certainly well laid, but it did not include Wells, or rather Mason, not getting through the 9th inning. That's when they were supposed to wrap it up. Now the Orioles have gone ahead. Oh, high in the air to center. Lofton backpedaling. And that is, I didn't think that was ever going to come down out there. 2 down. And Cal Ripken coming up.
Cal Ripken.
Is that a just miss, Kirby? He got great wood on that ball.
Yeah, he hit it. Just got under it a little bit.
Hargrove on his way out. You may just think Mesa has hit the wall.
Mesa has thrown 60 pitches in this game. Mesa, a pitcher who usually maybe comes in, throws 15 to 20 in an average appearance. Rarely goes more than 1 inning in a game. And he's in his 4th inning of this one. He has given up 2 runs and 6 hits since he's been in there, and has 6 strikeouts in that time.
Jose said the magic words. I'm okay.
Right after the game on ESPN2 will be the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and on ESPN the Las Vegas Invitational. Stay tuned. 2 down, nobody on, but a run in for the Orioles. It is 4-3 Baltimore. Cal Ripken 1 for 5 today, and that's too low. Cal has not had a great day. I mean, he's struck out a couple of times, and when he got his only hit, he then got thrown out by Manny Ramirez coming too far around second base with a subsequent Eddie Murray hit. Look out, here you go, Kirby.
That's why you're the play-by-play man.
He tells me to look out, and then he clangs it like that.
I was trying to protect you, man.
No, I had it, man.
U.S. Steel give you your Iron Hands contract on that, John? They're taking pot shots at us back here.
Wow.
Cal drives one deep into left center field, headed for the big wall out there, and it will short hop the wall. Ripken heading for second. Bell's throw in too late, and a sliding double for Cal Ripken.
Well, Hargrove's going to make the move now. Mesa may have said he's okay, but he lost some steam off pitches. Alomar hit it well. Bonilla just missed that ball to center, and Cal rifles one off the fence, and Hargrove will make the move.
Ripken's 3rd double of the series. Eddie Murray coming up, and we've got a pitching change. 4-3 Baltimore.
Update from Atlanta. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Hideo Nomo facing Mark Lemke, who catches up with a fastball and blasts it over Chad Curtis. Tom Glavine a double. He scores. Grissom comes in as well, and it's a 3-0 lead. But Nomo's still not out of the inning. Chipper Jones tees off and golfs a home run for 2 more. It is now 5-0. Nomo's out of the game, and the Braves are on the edge of sweeping.
And here the Orioles are also on the edge of eliminating the Cleveland Indians, as Jose Mesa unable to save the ball game in the 9th inning, and now he has given up the go-ahead run in the 12th. And the Orioles are trying to get more for that man, Randy Myers, who will undoubtedly come on in the last half of the 12th inning for the Orioles. Meanwhile, coming on to pitch now for Cleveland is Chad Ojay. Young right-hander, became the 4th starter in their rotation, mostly in the second half of the year. What about this guy, Kirby?
Well, Chad Ojay, he has an outstanding changeup. Throws a fastball, curveball. He's got a great changeup. If he wants to get somebody out, I think he's going to throw the changeup quite a bit here to Eddie if he faces him.
Devereaux on deck hitting in the 8th spot. Let's see if they walk Murray to get to the right-handed batter.
No other left-handed hitters available off the bench. The only non-pitcher left on the Orioles bench is Bill Ripken, a right-handed hitter. They are going to, in fact, walk Eddie.
Another thing to consider in the bottom half of the 12th inning, Kevin Seitzer was pinch run for, so Casey Candell is scheduled to hit 4th in the inning. Brian Giles, Tony Pena, both available, so we'll have to wait and see at that point if anybody gets on base.
Giles a lefty and Pena a right-handed hitter. Candell a switch hitter. So Eddie Murray will get the free pass. 2 men on with 2 men out. And now Mike Devereaux. He was the MVP of the National League Championship Series last year with Atlanta.
Fielder number 10, Mike Devereaux.
Davey Johnson. And this game has taken so many twists and turns, hasn't it? The Orioles were ahead. Cleveland came back to tie after the Orioles let some big opportunities go by. And Cleveland went ahead, and finally, when the Orioles looked like they were all but dead, nobody could even make contact. Somehow they get 3 hits in the 9th against Mesa to stay alive and tie the game. Devereaux, the hitter. Ball 1. Mesa 3 2/3 innings. And surely he's not pitched that many in the 2 years he's been a closer. Never this year. Well, we know since he's been a closer, he hasn't pitched that many until today. He used to pitch long relief for Cleveland the year before last. 2-0.
Changeup right there from OJ.
Just as you expected.
He's going to throw it.
Ripken at second, Murray at first for Baltimore. Already leading 4-3. Here it is again.
See, I know some things sometimes.
So now that he's established a changeup, 2-0, 2-1. Now what? Fastball in, maybe?
No, another changeup.
Okay.
All right. Now what?
Another changeup.
Don't go away from your strength.
Quit showing off, Kirby.
No, I'm not showing that. He's got a good one. You see it right there. Got good arm motion behind it. Devereaux can't stay back.
Another changeup. This time Devereaux pops it up, and Ramirez takes it. The Cleveland Indians could be 3 outs from elimination. Vizcaíno, Lofton, and Vizquel up. Bell not due until the 5th spot. Has put the Orioles ahead 4-3 as we go to the last of the 12th inning. Before he did that back in the 9th inning with 2 down and 2 strikes, he tied the ball game with a blue pit against Jose Mesa, and then in the 12th he launched one into center field, into the bleachers, and now his Orioles are 3 outs away from a trip to the American League Championship Series against their long-time arch enemies, the New York Yankees. Randy Myers, the veteran closer, comes on to try and wrap it up. And Myers, certainly a longtime veteran of postseason play. One of the former nasty boys with the Cincinnati Reds. Jose Vizcaíno scheduled to lead it off. The only men remaining on the bench, as Dave Campbell pointed out, for Cleveland, other than pitchers, Ryan Giles, a left-handed hitter, and Tony Pena, a right-handed hitter. Lofton scheduled after the switch-hitting Vizcaíno, a lefty, and then the switch-hitting Vizquel up 3rd, and then Candel is in the 4th spot for this inning. The bunt, nicely done. Barehanded pickup, Zeal throws him out. What a play.
Great play by Todd Zeal right there. Playing in. Nice bunt by Vizcaíno too, but come in barehanded by Zeal. Perfect throw to Palmeiro.
Key to the play is watching the ball into your bare hand. So many times infielders want to take a peek at that runner, but watch the concentration of Zeal's eyes, watching the ball right into the bare hand, then looking up and making the solid throw. Great play by Todd Zeal.
And Davey Johnson could appreciate it. One down, Kenny Lofton now. Zeal's had a pretty solid day over there at third base. Lofton, ball 1. And Zeal is a good 30 feet down the line from third for Lofton. Lofton tried to bunt against him back in the 3rd, and Zeal threw him out. One ball, 1 strike now.
Kitty again struggling against the left-handers. He's had a tough time. Lefties all day long for him that he's hit off of. Randy Myers throwing a slider. He's stepping in the bucket. Just trying to make contact.
Is this game? I mean, this game is one of great highs and great lows. Yesterday, Armando Benitez at his lowest ebb, the young right-hander giving up the grand slam. Now, if Myers can hold it, Benitez would get the win. With 2 strong innings of relief, including a strikeout in the 10th inning of Albert Bell the day after. And
Not only that, but Jesse Orozco had her day of redemption also, coming in, getting some big outs.
Left field, Devereaux is waiting. Out number 2. And the Orioles are just 1 out away from a rather astounding victory over the Cleveland Indians, the winningest team in the majors, the defending American League champions, and the Orioles, the wild card team, a second place team, 1 out away from going to the League Championship Series against the team to whom they finished second, the New York Yankees. It would start Tuesday at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you should. Anybody can win on any day, especially in a short series.
Omar Vizquel, strike 1 called.
John, we talked about yesterday, Benitez, Orozco struggling, Bell the hero, Kenny Lofton had a big day today. Bell and Lofton are 0 for 9 between them.
You shut those 2 down, plus Tomey not in the game. 2 down, 2 strikes. And they are getting ready for a wild celebration in the Baltimore clubhouse at the Jake. 2 strikes, 2 down. Here it comes. Too low. 1 and 2 now to Vizquel. Cal Ripken has not been in postseason play since his second year in the major leagues, 1983, when he was the MVP in the American League and the Orioles won it all. Albert Bell, is this his final game as a Cleveland Indian? Strike 3. The ball game is over. The Orioles have won the divisional series against the Cleveland Indians. The wild card team has defeated Cleveland in their home field.
Just an emotional day for both sides. Unbelievable. 33 strikeouts in the game. The Orioles strike out 23 times, yet hit 3 solo home runs, get a clutch hit from Robbie Alomar. Mike Hargrove managed brilliantly until 2 outs in the 9th. Mesa couldn't get the out, and it really proved to be their undoing.
And so Ripken and Murray back together again after all those many years. And they are headed to the American League Championship Series together. And a long day for Jose Mesa and the Cleveland Indians. A stunning defeat in their home ballpark. Final score 4-3. The Orioles in 12 innings. John Miller for Kirby Puckett and Dave Campbell. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. From Cleveland.